Yo. Precious. It's a word often used in the marketing of fine jewelry. Precious gemstones, precious resin, precious gold, as if it were an objective term. But in truth, it's a rather subjective one. What is precious to one man is worthless to another. I suppose objectively, you could say, is supposed to mean something very rare, something that you don't come across every day. For most, they say what is precious to them, if you ask them, would be their loved ones, their friends, pets, children. Precious because they hold great value in their lives. Precious because out of all the billions of people on Earth, there are but a few that matter most to you. Just those precious few, whom you may truly be lost without. In the vast sea of the universe, you were born into this world, some lucky to have had parents there to love you, precious to them. Others aren't so lucky. Some are born into this world alone, orphans either lost in the rubble and cruelty of it all, or cast aside by those who gave them life, and thus raised upon by the few things they have. For some, it shall be the new friends they make along the way. Others, though, it shall become films, fiction, the escape from their reality that shall become precious to them. Oh, how very rare it is to find those that can find precious love in another, and thus become precious to them in turn. What is precious to you? No matter what you say, I assure you that not many of you would have answered that above all else, people, pets, hell, even valuable objects. I can bet nearly no one said what is most precious to them, they value most, love above all else in this whole damn bitch of a world, is a female playable character from the first Pokemon game. This girl, this collection of pixels on a Game Boy Advance, named simply Leaf.
Wake up, silly!
Today, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you all on a journey through the mind of an individual who captured the attention of thousands. A man who dedicated his sole existence to a single character, one whom he loves, who he cries for, screams for. One who he cannot help but express his undying love for, and fight for till the bitter end. Today we're going to see a strange love story, a tale of trolling, a song of mental issues, psychosis, and possible tulpomancy. A man who took on the likes of 4chan, Zitter, YouTube, Pixiv, and even the Kiwi Farms in his crusade for the love of his life. A war of pure, unbridled insanity. A fable of endless cycles spanning years. A man falling deeper and deeper into the pit of his own mind. Of Pokemon and pure obsession. A manifestation of those that are forgotten, awkwardly shuffling about, given center stage by the coils that connect us all, the internet. This, my friends, is the strange story, the terrible tragedy, the ceaseless love song, the fable of Preciousleaf.
This does not even deserve the captain's log introduction. Because this is dead serious.
So I got a message out there for every fucking troll with a headset and a copy of Modern Warfare.
Excuse me, I have some memories I need to repress.
I hate the N-word, and by N-word, I mean nerd, not...
Hello, gamer fans. Spax here.
Everyone, I'm so glad you're still watching ADGN after 15 years.
May
So, a bit of context. The date is September 28, 1998, the day North America would first be introduced to Pokemon. Released on the Nintendo Game Boy as two different versions, Pokemon Red and Blue respectively. Pokemon is about playing as a kid looking to become a Pokemon Master, something that can be done by catching Pokemon, which come in all shapes and sizes, using those Pokemon to defeat and then catch stronger or different Pokemon, and then using those said pocket monsters to then defeat the 8 gym leaders, and the top Pokemon trainers in the land, the Elite Four. Another goal, broadly speaking, was to complete the Pokedex, that is to say, catching all 151 Pokemon in the game, though there are some that are exclusive to each version. Thus, trading of Pokemon would need to be done with another player in order to finally have them, unless you had 2 Game Boys and both copies of the game in which you could just, trade it with yourself. This series would go on to be quite popular and would spawn many sequels, and later these 2 original games, Pokemon Red and Blue, would be remade for the Game Boy Advance as Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. Now, I feel like most of you are at least somewhat aware or even intimately familiar with what Pokemon is, but for the few of you who are not as aware of how big it actually was at one point, allow me to emphasize just how huge this little game for Nintendo would end up being. From trading card games, sequels, an extremely popular anime, toys, spin-offs, merch out the wazoo, movies, you name it. Pokemon was everywhere. And while it's still extremely popular to this day, and quite iconic, at the time when it was fresh and new in the late 90s and early 2000s, it was akin to a cultural phenomenon that was near inescapable. All of this, as you might imagine, left a bit of a mark on those that did grow alongside all of this Pokemon fever. There is a reason as a series it's so often still celebrated. Why when an app like Pokemon Go came out, it became not just a basic walk around the neighborhood game, but something that demanded the attention of the whole damn world temporarily. Why there are entire YouTube channels dedicated to just talking about Pokemon with millions of views and subscribers. Its influence on culture, gaming, and art cannot be mistaken, and it's also why this series is so often played and talked about online nearly everywhere you go, including this funny little site you might have heard of called 4chan. And it's here, amongst the denizens of this site, specifically those on the board /VP, which is 4chan's image board dedicated to discussing specifically Pokemon, where the main character of our story was first ever witnessed, back in the year of 2019. A user who would later come to be known under a simple moniker, that being Preciousleaf. Now, for these most early days of Preciousleaf's presence online, it's unfortunately damn near impossible to actually show you in full, because they were almost all completely on 4chan for a bit there. The archives of 4chan threads are frankly fucking ass to work with and barely ever work. However, this isn't too much of a problem, because we pretty much know exactly what he was talking about, because there is only ever one topic that he is talking about, and that would be his Preciousleaf. Specifically this character, Leaf, from the Pokemon games. Leaf is a female playable character in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, which again, as I stated before, is a remake of the original Pokemon Red and Blue versions, which, for a little bit of context, while in the North America regions, we got Pokemon Red and Blue. When the game was originally released in 1996, in Japan, it was released as Pokemon Red and Green, and thus the classic games were later remade and released on the Game Boy Advance as Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. Anyway, Leaf is essentially a female player character insert, while Red is her male counterpart. Mind you, both Leaf and Red are technically placeholder names. They are, of course, the names that you will see often on merchandise of these characters, but technically, they are meant to be less actual characters with a personality and the like, and more so just a blank canvas for either sex, boy or girl, to put themselves in the shoes of, as most will probably just name the character after themselves or their OC or something like that. Now, I point all this out because as far as being an actual character, Leaf, for all intents and purposes, isn't really much of a character. So for her to be someone's favorite character in the game or the series would be kind of a little bit strange, right? Maybe a bit random, even. Going a step further, for this character to be considered someone's waifu, that is, a female character that someone is kind of weirdly in love with, would also be kind of strange. Perhaps not unheard of, but pushing it for sure. But I'm sure it's not unheard of. But then, for someone to go one step further than that, for them to then full on be in love with this character, want to marry this character, want to be with them forever, believing that they are their soulmate, dedicating every single moment of their time to expressing their love of this character, believing they were born to be with them. Well, I suppose you get where I'm going with this. Leaf was the character that this user loved so much that he felt the need to not only express his love, but to throw it up all over the /VP board, and even occasionally the /V board, which is just the general gaming board, as well as the /C board, which is the anime /cute board on 4chan. Basically anywhere he could post Leaf, he would post Leaf. This would start off innocently enough, as he would post a simple picture of Leaf, followed by a rather long message about his undying love for her. Something other users may have mocked or simply chose to ignore. Hell, maybe others even supported him and agreed with his waifu choice. But then, the more he kept posting these over and over and over again, and completely cluttering up the place with his constant posts about Leaf, the more people started to notice him, start to get annoyed with him, questioning his choice in waifu, and others simply opting to call him names, and others eventually deciding to state how much they hate Leaf now, especially with the negative association that they're getting with the character that they maybe never really thought twice about until now. All these being things that deeply hurt user Preciousleaf, or as we will now refer to him throughout the rest of this video as PL. PL felt that those taking issue with his expressions of love for Leaf were being rude at best, or were being disgusting pieces of filth at worst, dissing his girl, and this would only serve to inspire him to post even more pictures of Leaf, and more long-winded posts of admiration for her, or in defense of her as a response, and not to mention arguing with people constantly, which only made people seethe all the more, and thus the cycle began. Again, I wish I could find, say for example, his first ever post on /VP, or some of the earliest ones before some of the people outside of 4chan began taking notice of him. But again, this proved to be a pretty difficult task. But luckily for us, others outside the realm of /VP began to take notice of this strange individual, especially as things began to escalate. In particular, users on the Kiwi Farms, a popular gossip forum, took special interest in our strange hero. It was October 11th, 2013, when Kiwi Farms member Mystic Misty first started the Pokemon Lolcow thread, noting, quote, "Since people involved, or formerly involved in the fan community for Pokemon have mentioned it being full of lolcows, I decided to create a topic for people to mine it for their own topic. So if you have a story or 2, or 10, you're welcome to share it here, unquote. And so other members of the forum did just that. But it would be a pretty slow thread for quite a few years. Nearly dead, all things considered. Up until one fateful day, on January 24th, 2020, when user Consume Products first introduced the farms to PL, noting, quote, "Meet Preciousleaf, a guy who popped up on /VP and immediately made himself known for being, well, you can see why he made himself known from these tweets. Here are some links so that you can check out what this guy's like," unquote. And indeed, in the same post, we got our first glimpse at PL, and more specifically, his odd way of writing, here from this Zitter account that had been made since during his early days of messing around on /VP, which reads from bottom to top as, quote, "She thinks my videos are good, and that's all that matter. And so do some others. The Leaf tweet has to be tomorrow. Wish could go to Pokemon Go Safari, but it's too far and can't afford trips, and just seeing people while going there is scary too. Would be nice if could be in that Discord still to post Leaf and VP too. With Leaf threads, these kind of things are good for me, like posting pictures on Leaf Wednesday here, but be nice to have a place can post anytime too where others can post cute picture. Just glad to have the Leaf figure. That was wondering and not have to worry about Monkey for a bit, just Pokemon DLC, which we will have enough of, by plus more. But if things like phone cord breaks, then that's a problem. Going to go on VP, make a thread to those Lily freaks that they lost and there will be no negatives. Screw them and the mods there thinking they get away. No, we won, we did, unquote. Yeah, so I'm sure you can already notice a couple of strange aspects to his writing style. Also noted here is a video that PL made for his YouTube channel. Again, something else that was discovered of this user, which I'll go ahead and show you now. This, as noted in the same post, was made in celebration of his oh-so-Preciousleaf character getting added to the Pokemon Masters EX game. That is a free-to-play gacha mobile game, in case you're wondering, since it will be coming up quite a few more times throughout this tale, and you could even say is one of the core integral pieces to the Preciousleaf lore. Anyway, this post seemed to capture the attention of quite a few, and really woke this little thread back up, with discussion as many come to share what info they have also heard of him, from his psyche to him being banned in Discord servers because, well, frequents Discords quite a lot as well. Actually, there isn't a site that he wasn't frequent on, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Quote, "As far as I know, this guy is legitimately schizophrenic, violently so. He got banned off of /VP because mods were actually afraid that, sooner or later, he's gonna shoot up a school or something, and they don't want to be blamed for it. It's so bad that if you even try to imply that his waifu is not a real living person, who is also 100% perfect, he will unleash the burning rage of 1,000 suns upon your ass, in all caps. Christian is a completely stable individual compared to him. Another user noted, quote, Preciousleaf is finally banned from the r/Pokemon Discord server. I was there, and boy, he's a toxic beggar, and accusing people for being a bully because people didn't host a shiny Charizard raid, or allegedly killing his Pokemons on purpose, even though it's not possible and pretty detrimental to the programs for all players participating. He also screams Charizard or Best Girl Leaf at random for hours at almost 24/7. He's also confirmed to be 29 years old, by the way. What the fuck? Unquote. Getting banned places is something that was a frequent occurrence for PL. Though he wasn't usually permanently banned on, say, /VP, user Artshops documented it was something that happened quite a lot. Mostly because he, well, kinda spammed everywhere that he went with leaf pictures, and most found him to be pretty obnoxious. However, it was this particular ban, alongside him being banned in the Pokemon Discord server as noted before, which was more permanent than the 4chan one, that caused PL to have an absolute meltdown on his Twitter. He was so angry, in fact, that he wanted to express it through not only his words through various rants, but also in audio form, since he loved being in that Discord server and would never be allowed there again. The following was posted on his Zitter timeline. I'm warning you now, headphone users, prepare to turn the audio down a bit. You have been warned. This scream of absolute anguish was found to be quite funny, but also admittingly a bit unnerving to many users, as this was the first time his voice had actually been heard. A clearer picture of just how possibly crazy this individual was now coming into full frame. User Kyrie Carmia wondered if he was taking any sort of medications, as it seemed as though he has no sense of self-control over his anger, to which user Polar Choco would respond with the following lore from 4chan. Quote, I do believe he screams at random at home, which is why I asked myself why no one around him has done anything. Seems he's not medicated, and when people tell him to seek help, he accuses them of bullying him for even suggesting that. Now, I have no way to confirm if this is him. I didn't take this screen cap, but it seems his parents abandoned him as soon as he turned 18. By the way, this was discussed a couple days ago in the /VP. The thread was deleted though. The following screen cap was then shown here, noting, quote, It's not true. They wouldn't have left me here to cry on the floor for the first few weeks of knowing. I'm not telling you anymore, but you don't know it all and can't assume I see some of the things here said about me. And it makes me think if that's what they thought of me, you can never be too sure. But I learned to trust her and only her and no one else. It hurt too much, and I only ever talked to Leaf in real life, or sometimes rarely in Pokemon Go raids. They will talk to me and say I look cool and call me Red and trade with me. That's all I have for the social. Other than that, I'm not good at it, unquote. Polar Choco ends this post out with saying, quote, The same Anon who posted this screenshot suggested Leaf is his way to deal with his parents' abandonment. He was already smitten with her, but when his parents forced him out, he gave in to his delusions. By the way, according to PL, read this recently on his Twitter account, his family isn't in contact with him, unquote. This note, more people started to pay attention to his Zitter timeline, and the following facts were noted about him. Quote, Number 1. PL hates the best holiday, Halloween, as well as Thanksgiving and Christmas. This was known before, but I think it's relevant given the season starts today. He seems to hate Halloween due to interactions with people, and hates Thanksgiving and Christmas because it reminds him of the family that is gone. Number 2, he hates baths. They remind him of what he calls the sexual. It's hard to tell if it's because he sees Leaf during them. There's an r/wife waifuism post out there I'll try to find when I'm sober that goes into more detail on it, but here he talks on it. I'm inclined to think he doesn't visualize Leaf naked, as he's demonstrated he knows fuck all about female biology several times. My best guess is he rarely sees himself naked. Takes baths because that's what children do, and when he sees himself naked it reminds him of the sexual. Every day I think the sexual trauma theory is more valid. For possible wholesome moment with PL and a mother and a kid here, which reads, quote, I don't know like how the people stalk me on here, and I say I'm good for nothing. I proved you wrong, okay? I did good. I have mom and kid walk up to me because they think I look like a good Pokemon trainer, and kid really wanted shiny, unknown, from GoFest. Didn't get, so I told them what I had, unquote. In summary, PL is still a train wreck, like he was yesterday, and I should stop drunk posting, unquote. These little pieces of information help to paint a better picture of who PL was, and since he posted constantly on his Zitter account, it became pretty easy to see who exactly he was. When it came to interacting with people, he seemed to have a lot of anxiety about it, and seemed to try to want to avoid it as best he could, as much as he could. Yet there are little moments, like with that little kid, which through all his garbled text, basically he was saying he was giving a kid a bunch of shiny Pokemon from his Pokemon game, just kind of out of the kindness of his heart. But on the other end, there does seem to be some sort of deep-rooted issues, and his understanding of the sexual, as he puts it, and a lot of other things are kind of up in the air, making people really wonder what his whole story is. Mind you, this is all then followed up by user Snowball posting a picture from PL's Twitter, which contained this picture of him having fucking absolutely obliterated his keyboard in anger. Again, might I add, he did this all over getting banned from a Discord server and 4chan boards because he wouldn't stop spamming pictures and posts about Leaf. He would also make this little animation in response to this as well. Yeah. Now something I should note is that to PL, Leaf, this Pokemon video game character, seems to exist as something more to him than just simply that. To him, he sees her right beside him. Always there. Leaf, his Preciousleaf, exists outside the confines of the game as a sort of entity independent of him. Some could even call her a tulpa, something that user Courteous Limo joked about when PL said on Twitter that he would be getting a shiny Charmander in the Pokemon Masters EX game because Leaf told him that he would. Quote, no Charmander hatch. Still, that's fine. She tells me it will happen on our special day. I believe her, so there is hope that I can get him on that day to share with us, and having my favorite Pokemon as a shiny in this game on same day. How amazing would it be? I can't let these jerks win. I'm going to get shiny Charmander on the 15th. You will see, she told me it was a special day for that, so it's fitting my personal favorite Pokemon as shiny is mine on this game on that day. I have faith in it. I won't lose. I won't be humiliated and embarrassed off the internet. I will get him, unquote. This was pretty funny since something PL had ranted and raved about a ton on Zitter, and again would continue to rant and rave about in regards to Pokemon Masters EX, was either them not giving him a shiny Charizard, which for those of you who don't know is basically a special, more rare version of the Pokemon that is also his favorite Pokemon by far, and he would later complain about Leaf not getting more new costumes and content for him to spend money on in the game as well. While it would be redundant for me to read all of them, he bitched and moaned about not getting his fucking shiny rare Charmander for weeks. But regardless, it was okay, because his Preciousleaf told him that he would get the Pokemon he also wanted on the 15th. Something that many were ready to laugh about, as it was pretty clear he probably was not going to get it on the 15th, and thus would have a huge fucking meltdown about it, as he normally did. And he took this pretty damn seriously, mind you, as two posts by Polar Choco noted. Quote, pretty sad he wants to disappear or even himself over a game. It's hard to know what's going on in his head. There are some tweets where he'd say he'd just disappear from the internet if he doesn't get the shiny Charmander, because he doesn't want to be mocked for not having it. But if you check his replies to other people who are concerned about him, he says he might not be alive next year, which would be when they rerun the Shiny Eggs event. You know, if he does get the shiny Charmander on that day, I'll start to believe Leaf is actually a Tulpa. Look at this. Quote, no, I'm going to get it in 2 days. She told me I would. And what happens if you don't? No, I am. Leaf doesn't tell me something when she isn't sure. She is 100% sure. I believe her. How does she know? Because she feels that it is right time to get something. I love on a special day, so I trust her. Yeah, but what if she's wrong? No one is always right. She is right to me, and I trust her. She wouldn't told me if she wasn't so sure. You don't know her, unquote. So everyone was expecting this to end in a, well, terrible tragedy. And some were even kind of worried about PL with how sure he was about this, and considering getting this actual Charmander, this shiny Charmander, was completely luck-based, there was just no fucking way of knowing that he was actually going to get it on this day. But then the 15th came around, and wouldn't you fucking know it, he would unironically get the fucking shiny Pokemon that he wanted, with Polar Choco making it official that Leaf was actually a Tulpa, posting the following Zitter post. Quote, my eggs are hatched right now, on this day, and the first one I got was Charmander Shiny, just like she said I would get. I'm so happy right now, and I got 3 passive Pokemon after it too. It's so good. Yes, I'm so happy. Yes, I'm going to max him out to be the strongest shiny Charizard in Masters. Unquote. This was pretty wild. And as I noted before in my Ego and Identity in Art video, Tulpas are a real concept, with the basic explanation of them being that a Tulpa is an imaginary friend plus, basically. They are someone or something that you have created out of your sheer will in your mind, and who to some degree has some level of independence from you. Now, obviously the easier answer was that PL was just sort of crazy and believed that Leaf was real, and just so happened to get really lucky during this particular day. But that is pretty strange to have actually worked out, and this event would cause many to start to discuss him even more. He was a rather mentally unwell individual, and he came to wonder if he loved and believed in Leaf so fucking much, if he somehow did, through his sheer power of will, manage to create a Tulpa unknowingly. It was definitely a funny thing to consider, for sure. Of course, PL was also still posting on /VP, which now was actively being documented by anyone that could find them on the Kiwi farms, with this post being an example of his, well, typical Leaf posting. Quote, we are winning. We are get a cute Leaf thread. All the pictures she is happy. Fuck you, stupid bias mod. What is your problem not wanting Leaf threads? She has done nothing to you, freak. We'll always want to post her to make her happy, making new emotes, doing her in cute poses all the time, and making videos and being more better. You can't stop our fun, biased mod, no matter how much you hate me, for no reason. We hate you! You will pay for teasing people like me unfairly, for no reason. You will see same for the Lily Freaks and bullies on here too. They will all pay for this. Things we hope we make you stay up so late, you stupid mod, where it can be the only way you can ban because we sleep and always unplug internet and not ban anymore. Do not understand why you are so mean and hate Leaf, but we hate you. We have found Discord treats me nice, no matter how I am, and has mods understand not like you on this Discord can post picture and cute emotes I made ourselves. fuck you, stupid bias mod, you haven't won, and you won't ever win, unquote. There was also this one in response to the, allegations of him not bathing. Quote, just shut up! I never said I didn't like to take baths, and yeah, fine, I am red in real life, but I'd rather be Leaf, so yes, I wish I was Leaf and same as her. She wouldn't mind and wants me to be happy. That's why the image self-insert as her, because I like being her, and happy and cheerful is fun and cute fun feeling when posting her picture. Every picture I see of her, I think it is me, and for clothes, we are clothes and share bond together. Other people do it with their so too, not just me. Unquote. He also managed to get himself banned on Reddit, and yet again, had quite the reaction to it. Quote, I'm crying right now. Someone false reported my Reddit account, and I'm perm suspended. It's not fair. I did nothing wrong. They said I was being sexual activity, and I never posted anything of that. I don't understand it. I'm trying. Why would someone listen to a liar to ban me? And, this actually managed to piss him off so much for being accused of doing and posting the sexual that he actually kicked a hole in his wall, as, seen here. Actually, if you haven't noticed, that's something he does quite often. If he happens to get mad enough, he will break something. As noted before, he did break his keyboard, but there's also this, wonderful post about the time he broke his Nintendo DS out of pure, unbridled rage, and his reaction to it immediately after. Quote, I'm so stupid. I broke my old DS I used to play GBA games on. I still have my GBA, but this was for Leaf Green, and it's ruined because I didn't pay attention, and I threw it without knowing. I didn't even know. I'm so upset. Why did I do this? Isn't fair. How can I be so dumb doing this? Unquote. There's also a few more extreme occasions of him doing this, but we'll get to that momentarily. However, at some point, this little Pokemon Lolcow thread had very much just become the Preciousleaf hosting thread, and it was suggested by user Snowball that perhaps it was time for PL to get a thread of his own. And thus, on November 12th, 2020, user Archeops would take on the mantle of making a proper Preciousleaf thread on the Kiwi farms. Because despite what some might have thought at the time, the story of Preciousleaf had only just begun. After about nearly a year of posting about this strange individual, on November 12th, 2020, Archeops would end up making a thread on Preciousleaf. And as any good OP on the site, contains quite a bit of much needed info on the individual at hand, as well as links to their various accounts. Here are a few additional pieces of info that can be found, starting with a screenshot of PL's Twitter bio, which reads as, quote, Preciousleaf at Leaf Precious. Schizophrenic, bipolar, anxiety, depression, Asperger, fears talk people, mute in real life. Please send leafs. We like catching Pokemon together. Currently residing in Pallet Town. She OP rightly notes as being a pretty long laundry list of mental issues. And he also casually drops that this may be why PL's parents abandoned him at 18. A detail that sadly was the case. Not that PL ever tried to hide it, of course, but instead was something he was quite saddened about. Though despite this, the actual details surrounding his parents leaving him behind were sparsely known at this time, and the most anyone could really gather was that they seemed to have given up on him, and he now seems to live in some sort of home for adults with mental issues. A group home or apartment of some kind. Though again, that was just everyone's best guess, and no one actually knew for sure. Another detail the OP notes is PL being able to actually see and hear Leaf, despite her, obviously not being real. PL also has a secondary Twitter account where he often simply just posts pictures of, well, who else but Leaf. And like on his main account, also rants in all caps about things such as, well, the developer Dina, the game devs behind Pokemon Masters EX, not giving him stuff that he wants. Stop being selfish and listen. Listen to your fans and fix the game. Put co-op in it, and put many things to do kill stamina. You liars, you said you would get rid of it. You are only keeping it for money. I want Leaf EX and Leaf Grid too, but you're not making the game fun. It's 5 minutes a day, and then done, listen! However, again, Dina was not the only one to get his ire, and as noted, he often also harassed and argued with artists. Quote, for example, here he is harassing an artist for committing the crime of drawing green, another version of the playable character from Fire Red Leaf Green. Technically, green came first. There's promotional art depicting a similar character that's been around since the red, blue, yellow days. Now, this green character is something that's going to keep coming up time and time again throughout the rest of the story, but some of you may not really be familiar with who Green is, or even what the difference between Green and Leaf is. See, Green is a character that kind of replaced Leaf in the Pokemon games, starting with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and is notable for being sort of similar to Leaf in design, but not quite. See, some people still consider Leaf and Green to be two completely different characters, while others see Green as a redesign of Leaf, and maybe others see them as alternate universes or versions of the same character, or even just the same character but redesigned. It is kind of complicated if I'm being honest with you. Enough so that, to my knowledge, since all this drama went down, apparently Leaf and Green are now considered completely separate characters. But nonetheless, since he fell in love with Leaf, the original Leaf, and doesn't want her to be potentially replaced with this new character or design, PL takes great offense to this character, and I guess anyone who draws her for that matter as well. For that reason, we'll be seeing her come up quite a few times because PL can't help but to bitch about her, and once people caught onto the fact that this character pissed them off, trolls would then often post her in response to PL's constant Leaf posting, and would even claim that she is a far superior version to Leaf or just superior to her in general. That sort of stuff to get a rise out of him. Another fact about PL is that he actually has quite an impressive collection of Pokemon cards, a collection that is actually very valuable money-wise. However, as noted in the thread, he doesn't take very good care of most of them, except for his Charizard cards, because he is his favorite, and thus he keeps them pristine and carefully taken care of, while the other ones, despite their quality or their monetary value, are basically just extra trash to him at the end of the day, which I honestly think is kind of funny. PL also has an extremely valuable collection of Leaf merchandise, as you might imagine. In fact, so much so, that it's been said between his constant pestering about her and always buying her shit up, the price on Leaf-related anything online went up in value quite a bit, be it based off their rarity, them selling well, or just simply it all becoming a bit ironic. Bro actually managed to increase the value of his wife, objectively speaking, from sheer, dedication. Yeah, let's call it that. A dedication alone. Despite all this, looking into his living conditions, they aren't exactly ideal, shall we say. There have been a few pictures he's posted of his sleeping arrangements over the years, which is usually just this plain-ass mattress, no bed frame, no sheets, blankets, or even pillows. Instead, he uses either his shirt or a pair of jeans as a fucking pillow. Bro's really living in squalor to keep up that waifu grind. You might also notice that he has quite a few figures and stuff of the character Red, the male counterpart to Leaf. And that's because, in some strange ways, he sees himself as Red. He really went, bro, that's literally me, but he was dead serious, and chose to live by it forever after. That is also the reason he often wears this Red cosplay, because often when he does leave the confines of his home, he is dressed just like Red. He also sees art of Red and Leaf together as art of him and Leaf together. However, interestingly enough, despite us knowing that he wore this red cosplay often, no one really knew what he looked like. The most we could gather was his silhouette in shadows and these heavily edited pictures where you could see some details but nothing to do with his face. Though he did take a picture of his eye at one point in time, I guess as in an argument to prove what color eye he actually has. Now, you might not think that's a big deal, but in the space of people like this, it kind of is. Usually lolcows, or anyone kind of associated with that term, tend to overshare way too much. While PL definitely does do that a fair bit, when it came to his actual identity and his face, he was pretty damn good about hiding it and knowing not to show his actual face, nor his address, or even his full real name. As noted later in the OP, people on 4chan and beyond had actually tried to find out where PL lives based on a few pictures he had taken outside, but no real progress was made outside of it seeming like he lived somewhere in either eastern or southeastern USA. PL, of course, was extremely scared during this whole situation though, and many rants were made during the time whenever they were trying to find him out, and they believed they were getting close, only to come up with nothing. So in the end, he came out with a win, since no matter what they tried to ascertain, they ended up empty-handed. And again, this was significant because usually whenever 4chan got together to try to find someone based on pictures and the like, they were pretty damn good at doing it. But there just wasn't quite enough information to pull all the things together. And again, it is also significant because PL, despite his many idiosyncrasies and various mental issues, he is certainly not loosey-goosey with his info. For someone with his level of mental fortitude, he had remarkably good OPSEC, something that many pointed out, something some even wondered if it was a sign that this guy was actually a troll and not the real deal. It was a semi-popular theory at first. However, as time went on and the years, and yes, I did say years passed by, this theory would be thwarted time and time again, as PL was just far too genuine, far too dedicated, far too tediously devoted to his precious leaf to ever be seen as anything but the genuine real deal, posting every single fucking day, everywhere, about Leaf. Bitching about Dina and Pokemon Masters every single day, praising Leaf, making videos about his life struggles and Leaf, and in several other dark cases, harming himself over Leaf and the trolls that messed with him. So perhaps indeed his good OPSEC was just a matter of good luck. Perhaps he grew up browsing 4chan and the like, and learned the valuable lesson of keeping oneself anonymous. Or maybe, just maybe, his oh-so-precious leaf was keeping him safe from the harm of the trolls. I suppose it's anyone's guess at this point. However, all the same, the Kiwi Farms thread OP ends with some videos that PL had recently posted, including one where he had destroyed a door out of anger, as well as a couple videos expressing both his love for Leaf, but also his anger and anguish over others mocking him and his precious Leaf, which I'll show you some clips of now for your viewing pleasure. Now, with the end of this original thread OP, we now have the daunting task ahead of us of parsing through 270 pages of information, and an ongoing and evolving story that anyone looking to know more about him and see the scope of his little fable, like that of other locals, may find somewhat difficult, or at least rather time-consuming to fully read through, especially with just how separated some of the info is. But luckily, you got me, who already did all that for you. So I think the best approach for this going forward would be for us to tackle each account PL has separately. That way we're not all over the place as we go through all of this. So let's start with his oh so infamous Zitter account. Now, if there is any place you were likely to know about PL before this video, I'd say it was Zitter. After all, he got into fights all the time there, and anyone who was to come across his page would be met with an absolute barrage of caps locks text that I think was more than enough to get anyone's attention and wonder just what the fuck this guy was on about. And with how often he posted under specifically Pokemon and Nintendo related official tweets, this is probably where most of you are aware of him, if you are indeed aware of him. As noted before, he ended up having quite the angry rants with Dina over them not giving what he wanted, which was really just more Leaf related content. If there wasn't more Leaf related stuff, or perhaps red related stuff, though he really wanted Leaf more than red related stuff, then it was never good enough. And anyone who they did give it to, be it another Pokemon character or something else, he would just kind of hate that character all the more. But also, if in the gacha game he got a character that wasn't Leaf, or he got something that was of high value but again wasn't Leaf or red related, he would get extremely pissed off and assume that the devs were doing this on purpose to him. Quote, "No wait! I didn't mean to, Dina! I wanted to pull dailies on the banners because I needed another 5-star bronze for another 4-star power-up for 5-star, but I didn't want fucking Rosa! Why you fucking do this to me? I hate this! I'm so mad right now, Dina. All I wanted was bronze ticket. I wasn't wanting anything good, and you gave me the worst thing possible, and what I was for sure it wouldn't get, you fucking assholes, Dina. How could you do this to me? I fucking hate you so much. I wanted my 5-star power up now, but I was bored and I couldn't wait, and I accidentally pulled something. I hate this. Why do I have the bad luck like this? What did I do wrong? Why can't I just give this up to a friend? I don't want this fucking Rosa. Dina, give me back my 500 gems. I decided I didn't want to pull anymore. I don't want Rosa. Let me get her out of my box. You already forced me at the beginning, but now you make it where I pull her just for wanting a bronze power-up. I can't believe this shit. Why didn't I get shiny Slowpoke? This is so bad. This is going to annoy me in my head so many of the time. Now the chances of pulling I didn't think wouldn't happen with one pull. I just wanted another 5-star power-up for saving what's important, and they screw me like this. I can't take it. They know I rarely pull on other banners. Then how do I get a dumb Rosa with just one pull? I didn't think it would be possible. I was expecting a power-up for exchange. But it's the worst thing to me available right now, and I got it. I don't understand. I got normal Leaf as my first 5-star on Signa Leaf banner. I think they might have some control. That's why you should vote, because it's fun. Right now I feel very bad about pulling that shitty Rosa just for wanting more power-up tickets. I'm so stupid and I feel fucking dumb. I threw water everywhere because of it. I'm just going to be on phone then. Fuck the computer. This would go on to be such a consistent part of PL's everyday grind that it sort of became a cycle of him screaming for more Leaf content, getting mad that the Leaf content wasn't coming, getting even more mad when other characters got stuff instead of her, and spiraling deeper and deeper down the Pokemon EX Master's toilet until finally Leaf content would come, and he would then declare that he had finally won. He would be euphoric for the next little bit of time, before eventually starting the cycle all over again. Something that, again, you can see across many, and I do mean many, screenshots taken at the time. And trust me when I say, these are not even scratching the surface of how much he did this. This game sucks. You never listen and you're taking away my fun where I can get all the leaf orbs. I want to be able to collect the leaf orbs. Still, I want the max amount possible because it's a good fun feeling. Or having them all, this game is waiting and you will make me wait till I get Soundtrack Spotlight. You can hear this Elite Four music in the battle against Chantal in the championship stadium. This track sounds like it's from a horror story. Perfect for the ghost type user Chantal. Doesn't that creepy laughter send a shiver up your... You're doing this on purpose? Don't think I don't know. This would be 4 days since you didn't put the Leaf EX tweet on schedule, which you are doing on purpose. What excuse do you have for this? Do you understand how you're making me feel? This is so unfair and not funny! I'm not crying that much at all, just upset, and I don't want to think of the other things that are there. I'm trying to distract the fact that I am right about their stupid tweet shows that they are doing this on purpose and always change the pattern when it's positive stuff for me. Then there's like occasions like this whenever they were advertising another character, and of course he says, "Get her out of here! Stop the shill! Horrible, you didn't do the anniversary good there. Is nothing here Japan has to control, and you need to fix this. There is nothing here for me. I'm a person too, and I have a voice. It's not like I'm nothing. When I'm here, how come you make nothing for me? In this, I'm waiting for data. This is horrible. Where is Leaf EX? Where is her grid? Where is regular red? Where is OG red? This is bad. There is nothing for me. Here are you saving something for Pokemon Day or something? This data mine better be really good. You're upsetting me because I am a person too. I have a voice. Also other times where he did less rants and more simple but perhaps quite effective expressions of his emotions. He also often made these little videos to go alongside this stuff in his anger, such as this one.
And the 1, and the 2, and the 1, 2, 3. Fuck person, fuck bird, and fuck music. I wanna take a nap. Fuck person, fuck you, and fuck over. I wanna take a nap. Everything I make fucking sucks. It's dead. Nothing will ever be good enough. Oh, near no domination before our Lord and Savior.
And I'm only scratching the surface here, but this was something he did every single fucking day, as a matter of fact, which did actually manage to capture the attention of quite a few individuals, with this being an example of one of these arguments. Quote, "Fuck off, dumbass. This story was fantastic. It's a fine mobile game, and anything just showing N is better than everything with red." Don't tell me this! This is the worst story! No one wants to read this stuff while playing games. You're selfish. Mate, if no one wanted a well thought out story with great characters, RPGs wouldn't exist, and neither would Red. Your stupidity is hilarious, and is still better than Red in every way. He's not better than me, and stop being mean. No one wants to think about things like this in a story when playing a games. Games should be fun, not get you depressed. You're the one who was wrong here. Sometimes you need a sad story to show happiness. Many people want this. N is the best written character in Pokemon, because they've actually made him human. He has faults, wishes, and loves. That's what a human is. Red is a silent protag we know nothing about, besides he's a champ. By the way, before we keep reading this, I should probably note that the character N that they're referring to is this guy, who is a fan favorite Pokemon character who has like a tragic backstory and stuff, and basically Preciousleaf is saying, fuck that dude, no one cares about his sad backstory. We want Red, we want Leaf, we want the original characters, and the other guy's like, fuck Red and Leaf, they're like boring and bland. N is actually a really interesting character. And yeah, we love Pokemon, but having a story in a game like this that's just about things that not everyone can have fairly is stupid. and biased is the worst story, and it's something that I don't want to think about when playing a game. I am a human too. Stop being a jerk. Mate, with how N is written, they had to make it sad. People knew this going in, and we still feel bad for N because all he wanted was a real father. I don't even know that much about Gen 5, so I don't even care what they did for the story was wrong. If you haven't played Gen 5, then you don't get an input. The story continues very well from Gen 5, and it's very fitting. Now be quiet and go learn why N is better than Red and Leaf. Yes, I do, because no one wants to read or think about things in a game. Stop being biased. Correction, you don't want to do those things. Don't speak for others. We're glad we're getting more of N and want to see more of him. He's better than those two fools, that's for sure. You are wasting your time with this person who clearly needs psychiatric help, especially one with an unhealthy obsession over a 10-year-old video game character. He will never admit when he's wrong. However, what's kind of interesting is he would also post a lot under the Japanese post of the Pokemon games and Pokemon Masters EX stuff, meaning he would actually attract the attention of Japanese users as well, with him at one point pissing off an entire Japanese forum. It's kind of funny is oftentimes they would say kind of backhanded compliments or sarcastic remarks about him on here, and when people alerted Leaf to this forum, he assumed that they were actually being completely honest and not sarcastic about him. However, there's a more specific example than this of a user on Zitter actually getting extremely angry on multiple occasions at PL, that being the user Greenbean, who had a fucking enough of PL, and thus was starting to get into arguments with him. And after a bit, nearly every time PL would complain under the Pokemon Masters posts under the Japanese account, Greenbean would start to be there as well, with the following being a few examples of these interactions. It's so noisy. Mentally handicapped. Shut up and go home and eat your mother's milk. Do you think this game belongs to only you? It's so noisy that you come out and bark every day. To which Leaf responded, I don't hear anything that you were talking about, and I did not say the game belonged to me, but they should include stuff for my kind too, and they didn't. I don't know my mom anymore, and other thing, you drink milk, not eat. It learned the difference because there is no barking here. Here's another example. You're really gross. You hurt Leaf's image among fans. Selfish people. I'm not gross. And she's happy we do it all together. Stop speaking of Japanese to me when I am talking to Dina, not you. Learn the difference. You're the selfish one! Different Japanese user, Yami Yami, actually wrote this tweet stating, quote, and management, Preciousleaf, at Leaf Precious, please ban, it's annoying. To which then Preciousleaf responded with, quote, dude, can you please delete this comment before you start a trouble? Too much. It's important for reasons. You have to listen to me, please. Please! Dude, please delete it! I didn't mean to talk that much on a Leaf tweet. It was a Leaf tweet. I couldn't help it. Dina needed to see. I have a voice too. Just please delete it. There is no need for this kind of trouble. I don't like people liking this comment. Delete it before it's too late. To which, of course, Greenbean took great pleasure in PL's suffering, which led to this really fucking funny interaction. Wow. Just scold someone without even knowing anything. You are really awesome. So handsome. How about understanding what happened before saying such meaningless words? Wait, really? Well, if you're sorry, I forgive you. But I think I am handsome too. And I do understand, but this is just how I talk on things of, again, it being pretty clear that PL doesn't quite grasp sarcasm, language barrier or no. There was also once when the official Pokemon account dared to make this post saying, don't forget Green today, which, as you know, he isn't a big fan of. And so, of course, he got very angry about this. And in fact, he felt like it was a personal attack on him and his wife. I'm fucking screaming! Why would Pokemon do this? There is no reason to. What about the Leaf? Merch, the plush, the figure, the cards? Why green today? Why not Leaf Wednesday? Where is the Leaf's Day? Leaf Tweet only masters treated her well with what people wanted. This feeling sucks in heart! If I have to make a picture to explain what I know for all these years just so noobs who aren't fans to understand anything can see what I'm talking about, since I love her for so long, to know the difference, I made a picture. No, she's not Leaf when she puts on a fucking hat, morons! To which he then posts this picture comparing Leaf and Green and all the little character design differences. I'm drinking extra sweet pure leaf tea today. Pretty soon going to do stuff with her, but with what's there, we see a battle of thread, then fly off to another thread, then a thread say, and then together fight, knowing I think that's what we decided on. Will take long time, but maybe. Then after that very informative post, he then made these two following posts showing pictures of him and his wife, of course, posing and talking about how he's going to win and how every day is Leaf Wednesday. There are also occasions for people who have dared to even bring up Leaf in a completely silly or random context. PL, ever always looking up mentions of his oh-so-precious Leaf, would catch wind of this and be sure to either attack you, express his love about her with you, or in this random case, share some cool trivia about her, because, well, of course, he knows her better than anyone else, don't you know? Quote, characters that cannot have Coke. You cannot share a Coke with Leaf from Pokemon Fire Red / Leaf Green. I have before, and I will all the time, but we share different healthier drinks. But this was when I was little and knowing her, unquote, in which he shows a picture of her drinking a Coke alongside him. This, eagerness proved to be quite worrisome to others, though, especially artists who he would not stop messaging or asking for art from to be made of Leaf. Or if you dared to ever draw a picture of Leaf, he would come in asking, damn near begging for more from you, leading to one occasion where a Japanese artist left the internet completely out of pure fear from PL. There's also this other exchange where we kind of see a slightly funny but honestly more so kind of sad exchange when one of PL's favorite artists finally blocked him on Zitter after having enough of him. And let's be real, probably kind of getting creeped out by him, with him noting, I didn't do anything. They just blocked me even whenever I tried to explain on another account just to get them to understand. I don't know why they can't just be friends. It's so annoying. They draw some of the best Leafs and they hate me for no reason. I want to be her friend. She hates me. I am flooring a bit over this, but I will talk to Leaf instead and calm down. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I'm fine. I didn't do anything wrong. It's just to see someone like me post Leaf is a good fun feeling, but when they hate me, I'm so bad at social, I don't know why. We can fix it. We can please. Can we fix it? I forgive you with what you said about me. You can make things more better. Let's do it together, please. Come on, please. To which someone said, dude, can you stop? Seriously, leave the artist alone. I don't want them leaving Twitter again because of your behavior. Yeah. Also, I guess I should note, something PL says very often whenever he's extremely upset and doesn't really know how to express it better than all caps, since he kind of tends to do that most of the time anyway, is he will often say, I am floor, or I am flooring, usually followed up with this picture of Leaf, like, laid out on the floor, defeated. Basically means he's having a temper tantrum and he has completely given up. However, because this was something he said so often, it was something that the Kiwi farms and other places tended to notice and thought of it as one of his many catchphrases at some point. Getting back onto the subject of his creep factor, once again, him harassing artists over this type of stuff perpetuated the idea that this dude wanted to, well, have sex with Leaf. And furthermore, that he still thinks she's a teen, even though, well, you know the lore by now, I don't need to explain it again. This all the same would lead into some rather heated rants about the topic, when people would make fun of him and ask if he's been plopping Leaf, etc. They edited the best Leaf picture into fake naked shit. They're horrible people with no life. Screw them all. Discord and the thread is being gross right now. I can't tell which is worse. Just really bad to look and read right now. I'm posting this because it's the most true best picture. My chest hurts. It's because of stress. I know it because it hurts. Fuck Discord right now. I have nothing there. Everyone there is fucking asshole. Mostly. And the ones that aren't, I don't know how to talk of things much. And tomorrow is just going to be more worse. What's the point? Fuck those people in there upsetting me. I've done nothing. There was no reason for the thread to gang up on me like that with Preciousleaf or trying to edit my favorite picture. Worse people, we are not like that. That they think they won't allow me to talk. I'll just figure out how unfair. Mind you, the Preciousleaf thing is something that we'll get to later. But let's just say that PL has a kind of strange history revolving around piss and general hygiene. Every time anything, this is so much fucking unfair. I hate it so much. I hate they keep fucking it up for me. I don't know what I'm going to do. Why can't they just shut up? Shut up! Fucking ass! So is it just going to be me on the floor suffering this day tomorrow? I don't even care to be on the bed. I'm just laying in the clothes and the cards with bottles, not moving. I don't care. I'm too hurt to care. I told her I would fall asleep like this. It hurts in the chest. I drink water. I don't care if I need to go to the bathroom. I'll just pee myself. It's what they think anyways, so no point. Fuck this shit. Home fucking give me money next year. My confidence is ruined. All nothing but of a shit. I should turn my phone off, but I don't want to think all the same time in my head. Another sex-related one on Zitter is, of course, this one, where this person says, sorry for being mean before. Here's an MMD as an apology, where Red and Leaf are doing something that is clearly censored, to which PL responds, what the fuck? Are you making this? I hate you! This isn't an apology! You are messing with me! Did you make this or not? I'm blocking you! I'm not having any more of this! Not! On that note, there's also this extremely strange tweet in which PL says, you're a 17-year-old loser talking about sex. You're like a reverse to which this person, Vinny, says, what does that even mean? To which PL responds, it means he's a minor talking about sex, which proves he's the reverse part of being a Just to be clear here, if you couldn't tell, PL seems to equate sex and as almost the same thing. In fact, he kind of views anything erotic or fetishy or anything of that sort with the exact same kind of vigor and anger that someone would have if they saw someone drawing minor characters or any sort of CSAM material type stuff. It gives them the exact same sort of reaction. And while on some level, many would have just sort of assumed it was because they were drawing pictures of what he thought was his wife, it seems just like in general the topic of sex is something that PL doesn't quite grasp fully. And in fact, he actually got so mad at this at one point in time that he literally gave himself a nosebleed from banging his head against the wall too hard. Which is, well, that's where things start to get kind of scary and sad. Because at the end of the day, PL is someone who has some level of mental illness, if that wasn't made super apparent by now. It's why as the thread on the Kiwi Farms about PL went on, the less people mocked him, and the more people felt sort of genuinely bad for him, even some rather worried about him, and began to watch him now because they were sort of invested by this point in him and the ongoing drama from afar, but also because they were worried that he may eventually actually hurt himself or possibly someone else in the future. Many would even find that mocking him was even sort of too mean for comfort. But even if he could be annoying in places, that ultimately there was something about him that was more sad than anything else. This, however, certainly didn't stop others, especially some people from 4chan, from attacking him even more, since he also was constantly spamming in places and annoying people with his messages. Thus, they would push further, with one person even making a Google Doc about him, basically warning others to stay away from this dude, and sharing lots of lore and info about him, something which PL did not appreciate. I won't read the whole rant because it is rather long, but basically he was asking for the mods to ban that guy since he was sharing information about him and the like on there. But they didn't, and it just sort of kept going, and he got more and more and more angry about it. It didn't help much better if he tried posting more of Leaf on the just normal V thread on 4chan either. As again, there is another long rant about him basically telling them to fuck off because they, once again, mocked him and banned him and the like. The whole rant ending with, of course, him saying, "Floor me." However, the more one looks at his Zitter account, the more tragic details seem to unfold. Like the time he had a meltdown and had to actually go to the doctor for something because of the self-inflicted injuries and stress that he was causing himself. And he had to actually text one of his parents for help. Though he does try to deny it in the Zitter post with it. He's talking to either his mom or his dad here. With the Zitter post noting, quote, "I hate you all. You're all jerks ruining my life, making lies about us where I am not well. I am sick. I had to embarrass myself and message someone on here that knows of me because I can't get to a doctor and need help with what I am feeling. These are not my parents either. I'm crying in pain." To which the blue messages are his and the gray messages are probably his mom. And they read, quote, "I felt my heart burning for a bit. Today, too. I think it's more serious than stress. My body feels weaker too. You are underestimating my words, and I hate you aren't taking me seriously. You think if I knew I was a simple thing like stress, I wouldn't be messaging you. Blurt out name. I know you're upset. You have to take us to the doctor soon. I will, I promise. We will come," unquote. He also made this sort of endearing post about what he calls a smart. Quote, "A smart is when you are done eating. Always wash the dishes when you're done. That way, later there is no dishes because it's making it be where you don't have to do anything later to be busy and not worry about dirty. We always prepare for things ahead of time because of how we like to plan." She is. Translation, Leaf tells him to clean the dishes when he's done with them. Which, on that note, it's kind of interesting how, even though he says that Leaf is his wife, in many ways she almost has a motherly role in his life. In his head anyway. With this tweet kind of supporting that, and him basically saying just that. Is a video when she is close kissing and then spins in head, and then I am there with main worry, which I worry of things lies of us or green replacing. It won't happen because I won't let it happen. It's just of what's there. And then back to real life. Of we on the computer you will see is of a video making this is a part in my head. That's there of worries. It happens when she's close to me in real life to make sure I am calm today. It's Mother's Day, so I don't really have a reason to care for it. Belief is the closest I have to a mother, but my love isn't a mom. And he has a picture that says, "Don't forget our promise." So while indeed he does note that their love isn't a mom, and basically saying that they have a, husband and wife type love, he also acknowledges that he doesn't really have much of a mom to speak of, and perhaps he never really did. And so Leaf is his replacement for that as well. Indeed, at this point, Leaf is his best friend, his lover, his mom, his therapist, and the inspiration, it would seem, for his every waking moment. He notes his anxiety over talking to people in this post where he says, quote, "I can't talk to anyone in real life, even a person willing to help. Why not? Are you mute or something? I'm even afraid to talk to my own family, okay? So if I have a problem talking, how could a therapist help when I'm scared to talk to them? It's not going to happen." And while this is by no means a fucking definitive test and should really just be taken as a bit of silly trivia, there was at one point where PL actually took an autism spectrum test online, and it came up like this, and well, it showed a lot of things that seemed to line up with his general demeanor online. That being someone with a lot of anxiety, social difficulty, and a myriad of other related things. Of course, I should note, not all of his Zitter posts are super depressing or just pure rage. He did occasionally post things where he was actually kind of happy, like the time he caught this shiny cannon height Pokemon of Gibble. And he did this while taking a walk with, of course, his little leaf figurine, noting how he's winning and walking. He even posed her next to his little Charizard. But again, we really are just scratching the surface, but I think you get at least a decent idea of what his time was like on Zitter. We will be returning to it later on, though, for an important event in the tale of PL. But for now, let's take a little detour, a dive into the world of PL's interactions on Discord, where even more strange and bizarre truths about our leaf-loving man can be gleaned. Once again, PL posted in quite a few Discord servers, from official Pokemon ones to waifu-related ones to ones that were made specifically for him. However, where all this stuff happened isn't really important. What is, however, is the various things PL posted in them, as even though he was pretty candid on Zitter, ultimately he was a little more so on Discord, mostly because the messaging was more instant, and people were able to actually ask him questions and interact with him, and sort of pry a bit deeper, which was significant because, truth be told, even when there were those that attacked him, often and wanted to simply troll him, just as many people found him rather curious and strange, and wanted to know more about him, especially as the months turned into years, and thus this dude just never really ever fucking stopped. Questions like, how are you getting money for buying all of this stuff? What is his living situation, where he can scream at the top of his lungs and break doors and hurt himself, but somehow not get in trouble if it were a home for the mentally ill of some sort? Why did his parents abandon him? Had he ever had an IRL friend before? Was it just the internet and Pokemon that had been his friend for so long that had turned him into this? Or something more? Something darker from his past? All these questions and so much more filled people's minds as they only came to know more about Preciousleaf, and thus this would lead into some conversations, like this one about PL's early childhood, with one conversation leading into him revealing that he doesn't really remember life before Pokemon. He remembers when he was 5 years old, crying a lot and hitting. He also notes how back in the day his parents did take him to a therapist, but in his own words he said, quote, "Yeah, well, I didn't answer the doctor or anything because I'm scared to talk to people mostly, so how could they know what I have to take medicine for if I didn't speak to them?" Nonetheless, PL later did admit that he took meds like Paxil, Zyprexa, and Zoloft, all prescribed to him by his psychiatrist as a kid and a teen. Some of those medications being used for stuff like depression, as well as schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, and a various myriad of other mental issues, which is mostly interesting just seeing how a trained psychiatrist tried to go about helping him through medication. However, whenever he found out that he was going to have to go to group meetings to meet other people like him, he didn't want to meet people because, again, of his social anxiety, so he just didn't go to them, and he quit taking the medicine altogether shortly thereafter, which is, well, I guess very on brand for him at the very least, and rather tragic. Someone also eventually asked him why specifically he loves the character Leaf the way that he does. Quote, "If you want to know what attracts me, it is Leaf. She is all the cute and pretty, and only her. I think of her like that ever since I was 14 years old. Have you, ever considered taking medicine? I do not like any other girl to think they are that too. Lots of my friends do. I used to. It does not work that way. Do you have a psychiatrist leaf? No, so stop talking about that. You should consider getting one. But I'm not going there. No, it can help you. They can help you sleep at night too. It can make you a stronger Pokemon trainer. No, it can't because I don't talk to people in real life. Only life. So how can get therapy help if I have to talk to them when I am afraid to talk? I assumed he had no social worker based on the state of his house, but he has to get some inspections if he is collecting government money, right? Does he collect government money though? Maybe just disability? I know Red or Uberon or someone else had to help him get the Trump bucks. If unemployment, they would have to make sure he couldn't work. Maybe not now during COVID. I assumed his parents owned his house or at least pay his rent or something. So maybe they're sending him money? You shouldn't be talking about my home or my money. It's not even a house, even though I wish it was, but it's not. And Uberon does help me, but Red Friend hasn't talked to me in a while, so she probably hates me. You had different circumstances with only having your parents and no siblings. It's a lot different. No other relatives, unless I'm wrong. My parents didn't want me listening or talking to her, but I did anyways because I love her. But hers is different. You just don't have the confidence, but you should make it more better by doing things and knowing in your head you can do them will make you feel happier about yourself instead of wanting to yourself. Then there's things like this creepy description that I'll just read from PL. Quote, do you hear people when you sleep? I dream. Calling your name before you wake up. Sometimes. Whose voice do you hear, Leaf? It's not Leaf's. A voice I can really easily tell from hers from this. This is a guy's voice, saying my name before I wake up. It's your voice? No, I don't know who it is, but it happens way too much. Is it always the same one? Yeah. Does it ever happen to you, though? Nope. You're worse than I am. What does he say? Just that? Yeah, then I wake up usually. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens a lot of the time. What do you think that is? I don't know. If it's someone I talked to before? She didn't hear it. Only me, so I don't know anything about it. Insert name. Do you know about it when it's really windy? What about the wind? When it's really windy, do you hear singing? I'm just wondering. Sometimes I hear piano songs in the early morning growing up, but that was because I lived next to a piano teacher. This is talking about waking up. This is talking about going outside when it's windy and you hear singing. It's a choir singing. Many people at once. Do you like the song or does it bother you? It's actually good to hear. I just want to know if he hears same. Is it in your head or can you hear it outside? I usually hear cars. It's outside. You hear a choir singing when windy. It's just singing, no words. Oh, so like chanting? Do you not hear it also outside? It's singing choir. Do you hear it with your ears or is it in your head? Ears, unquote. Which is a pretty interesting and rather disturbing description of something. There's also a lot of other little random pieces of lore that were less scary and more just kind of bizarre and funny in their own weird way. Like some of his takes on games, for example. He apparently was able to play Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, but he didn't like the game because he got lost in it pretty quickly. And when people tried to suggest him trying it again maybe, or trying to help him beat the game now, he simply said that he can't because his Wii U doesn't work anymore. Because he fucking threw it and broke it at some point. He then notes that he just doesn't like Zelda at all, and he doesn't really like Nintendo at all either. One user said that that's a shame because they make pretty good comfy classics, and proceeds to ask him if he's ever played Kirby. He said that yes, he did play an old Kirby game, but he doesn't like it very much. And he apparently didn't like it because he didn't know that you could go into some of the doors or whatever in the game, and somehow got stuck in it and found the game to be far too difficult for him to finish back in the day. Of course, a lot of people proceeded to mock him because, you know, the Kirby games are pretty damn easy, before later on clarifying that he actually fucking hates Kirby, and that it's not even just because it was a hard game, it's because Kirby is a scary game for him, and it made him panic as a kid. He says specifically the reason why it scared him is he remembers a stuffed animal game in the game, and the music that was playing during this portion of the game made him panic and got him scared, and he always failed it, which made him really hate it. We go on to clarify that it was a stuffed animal crane game of some sort, and then proceeded to show the track that scared him and made him panic so much as a child. And well, maybe I should just show you the track real quick so you can feel the true, honest fear that quivered through his heart as he listened to this spine-tingling tune. User Unexpected Genitals on the Kiwi Farms noted on this interesting piece of lore, quote, "Isn't Kirby technically an eldritch being? Maybe PL knew something we didn't." And user Neat Tokusatsu also reacted to this information with the following: "Scared of Kirby. This guy's not going to make it, is he?" On that note, people also pushed and pried him into trying to see if they could get him to do precedingly weirder things. I suppose many of these people probably thought that PL would be similar to someone like Chris Chan, in which they could, with enough time, manipulate him into doing something extra weird, cringe, deranged, or fucked up. However, unlike Chris Chan, PL actually was not so easily swayed, be it out of simply being a little bit smarter than someone like Chris Chan, being unbelievably stubborn and unwilling to take anyone's advice on anything whatsoever, or maybe indeed his precious leaf was looking out for him, letting him know that all these suggestions were probably not a good idea, with one such case being a talk about how he should sell his feet pics at Preciousleaf. School is lame. You should focus on your talents, like making music videos. I like to make cute leaf video, yeah, but that's for fun, not for money. Honestly, you can make more money by selling feet pics than a college graduate nowadays. College is overrated. I think I would be uncomfortable selling pictures of my feet. I don't like this idea. I did some foot prostitution when I needed the money. How much you make, Tropical? Probably 700 total. Only did it a few times. I think you should have more respect for yourself than to sell your foot pictures. I'm attractive. Most people aren't able to make good money that way. I'm attractive too, but I wouldn't want to sell parts of myself. Damn, fucking PL roasting a bitch. There's also this interaction, which I don't know, man. I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. Quote, "Well, more so the act of climaxing. Kumas are people who are addicted to masturbation and climax." Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, exactly. I never coomed in my life, so I don't really care. When people asked him why he never had, or I don't know, just pried into that statement more, he responded with the following: "Because you should be nice to people and help them understand. I think announcing you are cooming is rude, but I guess that's just how people are. Because I like to picture things in my head, how it would work, so I don't like reading this and seeing it in my head." There is then, of course, a rather infamous story that he told via Discord, involving plastic Pokemon balls and pee. "You know those Master Balls for Pokemon? I peed in them because I couldn't hold it in, and I didn't want to go outside my room because the people over for the parties of Christmas or holidays sometimes." This, for obvious reasons, caught a lot of people's attention and made a lot of people laugh because I don't know how absurd just the idea of that is in general. For some reason, PL thought that saying this on Discord was somehow not going to eventually lead into other people finding out about it via 4chan and the farms and everywhere else. But nonetheless, he would eventually respond to the overwhelming mockery he got from this little childhood story. "Okay, this is them. I'm sorry, but I tried to clean them because when I got them, the smell was there it was, so I had to wash them in the sink, and this was the picture of them close right here. But these are the Master Balls. This is fine, right? It was hard to all the way wash it, you know." And he features 2 pictures of these Master Balls that he peed in while people were over at his house, since he was afraid to meet with new people, social anxiety, blah, blah, blah. And as you can see, there is indeed a bit of a yellow discolorment on those Master Pokeballs that he decided to keep instead of throwing the fuck away. It's funny though, because if people ever brought this up afterwards, such as in this interaction where someone's like, get a better life and don't pee on balls, PL would respond with the following. Yeah, and it looks like I found you and your friends are the ones who did it. How do you know I peed in master balls when I was a kid? Tell me, you stalker! Again, he seems to not have a really good understanding that if he writes something somewhere, there is enough people that are going to be paying attention to him that word will eventually be shared around, with screenshots. And this includes all of his bad habits and general lack of hygiene in several places, such as this long string of messages specifically about his clothing, vacuuming his floor, etc, etc. Quote, you guys, how do you put your clothes? No, I mean store. Do you leave them on the floor? What about the floor? Dirty or clean clothes, PL? All clothes. I told you it's messy for reasons. I have over 50k cards. Or some of them went mad. Invest in a hamper to put your dirty clothes in. Do you keep on the floor? How often do you vacuum your floor? I don't vacuum my floor. But really, PL, if you don't clean your carpet, then it's covered in dust and crud. It is, but I don't care. I wash one every 2 weeks. The clothes. Do you have a washing machine where you live? I used to use the clothes I don't wear as pillow, but I have pillows now. Or do you have to go to the laundromat? Yes, but it's not where it's not at. It's a room. A nice set of soft pajamas might help you sleep better for that times that you have trouble sleeping. I don't have money for that. Or buy a pack of 10 plain white t-shirts for $3. No. You can get some cheap ones at Walmart. Not that expensive. Just give it a shot when you have a spare 10 bucks. No, it's fine. I'm not saying this to make you feel like shit, but you're only washing your clothes every 2 weeks. Your clothes most likely have a very strong odor that people can smell. If you want to know a clothes I'm thinking about getting, it is a Signa Leaf shirt, unisex. Get some plain white undershirts if you don't use any, to absorb the sweat. What sweat? I'm not sweating. My black shirts is... Dude, even if you don't break a sweat, you still need to get changed on the regular. It's for your health. I'm healthy though. You also sweat in your sleep. Well, I don't feel I do. All of which, you know, paints a pretty dire image about the scent, the aroma, the smells of the PL cave, wherever that may be. And again, on the topic of bathing and stuff, user Maymay asks, how often do you bathe again? I bathe normal. No, how often? Maybe every 3 days? I'm more better at cleaning myself than you, Maymay. You 2 shower a time a day. It's bad. For your health. Have you ever been scared of showers when you were a kid? Which on that note, something that PL seems to have a real serious issue with is showers in general. He doesn't seem to like the sensation of the water hitting the top of his head, or really water on top of his head, period. While I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything, from my little bit of research, this does seem to be something that's somewhat common amongst people on the spectrum. Thusly, whenever he does clean himself, he specifically takes baths, not showers. To which someone at one point actually asked him, so you sit in water used to clean your butt? To which he simply says, yes. Yet again, something he probably should have kept to himself, was that he, as a kid, also used to pee on the floor and curtain. I assume once again, specifically because he was scared to go outside of his room, or outside, or maybe he just felt like peeing on the floor and curtains, you know? Just that general vibe and beat, I guess. However, as you expect, when people found out about this, they started laughing and mocking him yet again. And so he then began to insist that this was actually something that was far more common than what people are making out to be. And how many times did you pee? Because you did the holes and you probably peed as a kid too. You just don't want to be compared to me. Stubborn! I'm talking about pants floor or corner or curtains. Unquote. And this eventually also led to the nickname of Preciousleaf, which at one point led to this rather creepy message being sent to PL via Discord, with the message coming from a Discord account called Demonic that specifically kept writing the phrase, I will find you and kill you. We are very fucking close. Then a picture of a random fucking apartment or whatever, then ending with the phrase, have a nice day, Preciousleaf, with a picture of pure leaf tea. To which PL responded on Zitter with this, quote, "I just talked to her for today and just ready to throw and break my computer. I accident break my headphones and tripped on them where I ripped off the point. I come online and the first message I see spammed by me on Discord is this right here. I really thought this year be different," which, being fair, was a pretty mean thing to do to PL. But yeah, all the same, it played into the fears he started to really develop around this time. Around stalkers, as he called them, since, again, there were a lot of people that were now paying attention to him. His every single move, be it on Discord, Zitter, 4chan, or else, with at one point someone actually specifically referring to him as a lolcow, which pissed him off a great deal. Quote, "Someone needs to talk about other people instead of just me, so shut up." But you're the only one who's a lolcow. "I'm not a lolcow, you dumb bitch! You are!" "You have a Kiwi Farms thread." "That doesn't fucking count!" "But it would count if I had one?" At Preciousleaf, you're a lolcow because you have a thread and lots of people know you as that weird guy obsessed with Leaf who screams at people and spams on Twitter. "I'm not a lolcow! I'm not a lolcow! Shut up!" "You are a lolcow. People even talk about you on Twitter because you're so well known for being a lolcow." "No one is talking about me, freak!" "Maybe not at this exact moment, but people do know about you." "No, they don't." At Preciousleaf, they know you're a lolcow. At Preciousleaf, if you weren't known, why do you have a Kiwi Farms thread? "I am a normal person who uses the internet just like everyone else. Just fuck off. If anything, I get the same treatments. I not be forget Dina is give. Fuck you." At Preciousleaf, normal people don't have Kiwi Farms threads. "Just shut the fuck up. No anniversary Rosa having, bitch." "Fuck you, you fucking asshole. You might be able to tell, but I'm crying. Just a bit. You will fucking get your karma later. I know Dina did forget about my kind. You can go fuck yourself. I hope your Rosa cards and plush May. Rosa canceled. Some other notable events surrounding this whole lolcowdom and people paying attention to him and the like has also come out via Discord, where at one point PL got extremely paranoid that there was a stalker, specifically one person in his Discord server, screenshotting everything that he was saying and doing, and he needed to find out who the fuck it was, probably not really understanding that it was more than likely a majority of the people in there doing that, which is kind of sad to say. I won't read all the messages because frankly it's just a lot, but he definitely had a huge meltdown over this. In a later event, there was this one user, or really troll I should say, who went by Ultra Hoodlum, who kept pestering PL incessantly. He even had a little green character avatar, sort of posing to be his arch rival or something like that. He would incessantly pester PL and constantly keep saying that he's a winner and that PL is a loser, because I'm not really sure if I've made this super clear by now, but PL is obsessed with winning. Specifically, anytime there's an argument, a conversation, any interaction, he views it as almost like it's a Pokemon battle, where there is a winner and a loser. He hates to lose, but he loves to win. Of course, most people would be logical and try to explain to him that that's not how conversations work, and he would just simply, frankly, mog them by simply saying, "Okay, but I'm winning still." However, Ultra Hoodlum decided to play into this and constantly say that he's winning, even made it part of his username in the Discord server. However, the Kiwi Farms noticed that there was a user in particular on the farms that was documenting this particular troll a little too much, especially for it just being some random ass guy in the Discord server. And by this point, they also didn't really appreciate people full-on fucking with PL to this degree. Not to mention, because PL had kind of fallen into a cycle that everyone sort of knew by now, some people kind of got bored of him and didn't really take as much interest into what he was saying, so much as they were taking interest into all the orbiters that were now constantly around him. Since, if it wasn't clear by now, Lolcows, as they are, may be rather interesting individuals, and that they don't necessarily have to be a bad person or anything, just an interesting person that others enjoy paying attention to and gossiping about. However, what is usually far, far worse and much more bizarre and even interesting in their own right are the people that decide to actually specifically grow close to these individuals. And so, Kiwi Farms user Zero Who decided to look into them a little bit more, and was easily able to find their other social media accounts and other general info about them, which PL of course took notice of, and was finally able to take the victory over this evil Ultra Hoodlum, with Ultra Hoodlum being humbled and basically giving PL the win, telling him that yes indeed, he did win over him and he's gonna take his leave now. PL absolutely gobsmacked and happy, near crying by the fact that people actually took his side and helped him defeat this evildoer, and those on the Kiwi Farms actually finding it pretty funny and celebrating in PL actually getting a victory this time. I think the reason for that is, even though there are people who clearly wanted to just mess with PL and possibly get him to do crazier and crazier things, for the most part, from what I had gathered and seen with people's reactions, at least on the Kiwi Farms, a lot of them seemed to be genuinely concerned with him. And indeed, most people who got to know him beyond just simply their base normal reactions all began to seriously want him to improve his life rather than make it more detrimental. Like conversations like these where somebody is asking if PL can try to get some bed sheets so that he can at least sleep more comfortably stand out to me. Quote, I got $600 or so saved up right now. Wow, were you saving it for a drawing pad or something else? Future Leaf merch, but it might be a while until more. Oh, yeah, she doesn't get much as other characters. Not to be rude or anything, but wouldn't it be good to get a proper pillow or bedding? I remember you saying you didn't really have much in your house. Wouldn't Leaf want you to be comfortable? I have pillows. Oh, that's good at least. I just felt bad hearing that you didn't have much. I'm fine on that stuff, don't worry. I had one person in my old server offer me lots of stuff for free on Amazon. They claimed they were a YouTuber or something, but didn't want to say their channel to me. You got blankets too, yeah? And bed sheets? They said with Amazon, it could be shipped to me anonymously, and they would never know details. That seems suspicious. I declined. Are you worried about your security? Even if it were true, I would decline and not accept. No. I don't deserve stuff for free like that, especially since I get money for free. That's true. You get that money to take care of yourself. And then when I was at my old house, I never really improved or promised anyways, and got stuff so I felt like stealing. I don't like accepting gifts. Oh, I didn't know you moved. Did you get cacked out or something? That sucks. It was when I was little. Improved? Like when your mom tell you something and you agree to do it, but get rewarded for not doing it is stealing. It's like that. Was it easy stuff? I'm not saying what it was just for improving my person, which I did not do, unquote. Again, a lot of conversations went this way on his Discord servers. People suggesting, even trying to speak his language and perhaps make the case that his Preciousleaf would want him to be more comfortable, would want him to have this, want him to improve his life. But time and time again, PL seems to not want to take the advice. Seems to be okay living in the language that he has, so long as he has his Preciousleaf. So before you ask, yes, there were always people trying to help him, and there were those that even straight up did, like in the case of the Ultra Hoodlum troll and people getting rid of them for him. But at the end of the day, PL still was very much his own person, independent, ironically enough, and was too stubborn to take anyone's advice or handouts. And again, there was a lot of conversations about general stuff he would do around his house as well, such as the time he made, chili. Quote, I made chili before and ruined it with too much chili powder, so I throw the whole pot on the kitchen. Couldn't eat it anyways. Why not just throw it in the trash? Why not dump it outside? Because I was mad. I bet he makes Leaf clean it up. You should just throw it in the trash so you don't have to work of cleaning it up later. I'd be madder if I had to clean up a mess. It was too hot for PL to handle. This spilling shit is the worst. Well, when I get sad and angry over things that don't work, I don't really think like this or have this time. It just happens. Or this one. Have you ever dreamed going to the bathroom, but you did it in bed then? This incredibly wonderful interaction. PL, you know, you really do operate on a different fucking level. What do you mean? Okay, if everyone's brainwaves here are that of a normal Pokemon, your brainwaves are that of a legendary Pokemon. Thanks! It means I'm smart. Or yet another case of him throwing food when he's angry. With him apparently having made his own homemade pizza, but it didn't turn out right, so he just fucking chucked it at the wall. And proceeded to just kinda, you know, leave it there. Didn't feel like cleaning it up. Decided the wall was gonna be decorated with fucking pizza now. I mean, not lying, I'd do that for a free Pizza Hut, please. That's just a good example. They could still send you sex toys or stuff like that. That's gross. Make your own pizza. If you burn it, just throw it at the wall. But it won't taste as good as Pizza Hut. Lamau. Filling the holes in your wall of pizza. Sounds like a plan. You learn by watching it. That's a different wall. You don't know my home. Did you clean it? No. He never actually went to school, apparently, and often asked people what their experience was like there, if they were bullied, etc., which means he must have been mostly homeschooled. He never got a driver's license for pretty obvious reasons. He doesn't believe the world is actually millions of years old, and as his words says, quote, only believe in science for the good, or of what you can make, but not the origin of the world. No one knows the origin of the world. It's lies. And another little random detail that was ascertained through Discord was that, as you might imagine, PL has a lot, and I do mean a lot, of Leaf pictures, as you might imagine. In fact, he has a folder full of specifically just Leaf pictures that is 27 gigabytes, contains 31,000, nearly 32,000 files, and over 2,300 fucking folders in there. Meaning he is not only more than likely saved almost every single fucking picture, fan art, or thing related to Leaf ever made, but has painstakingly categorized them in folders. There's a folder called Leaf MMD Properties, which is nearly a terabyte, 751 gigabytes of files. Again, over 2,200 actual files in there and 31 folders. Meaning that is a lot. I do mean a lot of animations and AMVs he has made around him and Leaf. This was a fact he was keen to show off to people, actually, because it was, admittingly, quite impressive, the level of dedication that required for him to, ascertain all of that. However, as he showed more and more pictures of Leaf that he had collected, some people started to notice that some of them seemed a little fetishy, notably the ones regarding her feet, which, funnily enough, PL was not quite aware of the implications of, well, foot fetishes, meaning he just thought that they were cute little pictures of his wonderful Preciousleaf showing her feet off, letting the dogs hang out. But, you know, they were made for a very specific, Gooner-related reason. When he found this out, he immediately had a panic attack, got super pissed off, and purged his library of any of the ones that showed her feet. And then, of course, there are some rather troublesome comments such as these. Quote, if you die, you are real-life Pokemon. Can fly on Charizard. You will be able to adventure and do everything together. Let me ask what it is a way to die where you feel nothing of it, unquote. Quote, I would, myself, if there was an easy way to do it, without the hurt and feeling of it. Same. That's why I hope to not wake up when sleeping." Unquote. This was certainly cause for concern, and there were even some animations that PL would later make that sort of seemed to line up with this narrative, that whenever the day should come that he passes away, that him and Leaf will be together, fully, at last. This was one of the reasons some were trying to find out where he lived exactly, because should the day ever come where he specifically made a threat like that, it would be good to know exactly where he lives so there could be a wellness checkup for him. I'm sure there were those that wanted the address for more insidious reasons too, of course, but all the same, I do think the context matters here. I could go on and on, honestly, about the various different things that happened over on Discord, random bits of lore and what have you, but I think you pretty much get the idea of most of the important things that happened over there. Besides the obvious, well, ongoing drama of him posting Leaf in various random discords and then promptly getting banned. But for now, my friends, we have a detour that I think is quite significant. That being his YouTube channel, which we have seen a few examples of thus far as we've gone through, but I'd like to take a much deeper plunge into it, because inside this lesser known little YouTube channel is host to some of the strangest, but also admittingly funniest and most interesting things PL has ever posted anywhere, in my personal opinion. So let's dive right on in. So, I can say that I genuinely don't even know where to start, but I guess the best place would be to be something that you've no doubt started to notice that he makes a fair bit of. That being these music videos of himself as Red and his girlfriend slash waifu Leaf kinda just doing stuff. Some of these are about fighting the haters, other ones are more so just them being in love, kind of an AMV or a tribute, you could even say, which I'll go ahead and show you several clips from now, within reason and what I can actually get away with past YouTube's copyright stuff anyway. And honestly, I must say that many of these are pretty damn well made. The visuals often match up to the audio really damn well, and overall I'd say these are Kino content. Straight up. Of course, I'm a sucker for AMVs and things like that anyway, so these are kinda just up my alley. You might have also noticed I've been using these on occasion throughout the video in the background, and there's a good reason for that. It's because there are so fucking many of these that he made. It's by far his favorite sort of content to produce, and it was something that you could sort of guarantee there would be more of before long, no matter what mood he was in, be it euphoric or absolutely livid. And I feel that it also showcases that he's actually pretty damn good at editing. For as much as PL loves to talk about fan art and Leaf and everything else, there isn't a whole lot that he actually produces around her besides, well, talking about her constantly. He has been known to draw on occasion, with this here being an example of one of his drawings. But it's clear that that was not really his forte as much, though I do think it does look kinda cute. No, instead, video editing is something that he seems to have learned somewhere along the way. Along with MMD and how to import animations, yada yada, you get the idea. On the other hand, he's also made these videos where they are more targeted at trolls and people messing with him, or of course, fighting his oh-so-hated green.
A lot of you have mental illness, and you need to get it checked out. If you are on my page and you don't like me, and you don't even like yourself cause you don't even have a picture of yourself probably cause you're ugly as fuck, and you come on my page to criticize me because you suck at life, you need to see a therapist and get off social media. Yeah, ma'am.
I absolutely love these. Man is his own and, I guess, Leaf's biggest fucking hype man. He also had these playthroughs of Pokemon Crystal version, but it was ROM hacked so he could have Leaf by his side throughout the game's story. He didn't do any commentary in this series, so there's not much to see here, but I think it's worth noting that while there are clips of PL screaming into the sky in absolute despair, something that was discussed a fair bit was the fact that it was far more rare to actually hear him voice his opinions with his actual voice. And the few times he did, there often seemed to be some sort of voice filter or voice changer of some sort that he was using. No doubt, once again being a way to further protect his overall identity, I suppose. This, however, sadly means something that we've never really got out of PL properly isn't talking to the audience through voice all that much, not even through filters. However, there is something almost as good, in fact, better I'd say, and without a doubt, the best videos that he has ever made in my personal opinion. Those being a real-life canon day of Us, Red of Me, and Leaf AI voices episode 1 and 2. Quite the mouthful. Both of these videos showcase a series of events from PL's perspective, both of what a day in the life of him with his tulpa, I mean wife Leaf, is like, when they're just hanging around the house, when they're outside his house, and when he's interacting with both people on the outside and others online. That last one in particular being represented in a rather artistic fashion. These, through their rudimentary animations, are meant to showcase what it's like to live as PL. Essentially, it is a full-on glimpse into the version of reality that he seems to be stuck in that no one else can seem to quite pull their way into fully. So, that being said, let's comb through both of these videos and really give them the attention that I believe that they deserve, starting with episode 1.
Wake up, silly!
What time is it?
Relax, sleepyhead. It's only 11. There is mail by our door. No box again, huh? Why is life a game full of weight?
Yeah, just the paper and mail with my name on it, nothing fun.
Leaf, do you think the person on this paper is actually missing, or is he missing? Because people can't see him, even though he can be sawed if you were near his person. So do you still think that counts as missing?
Well, Red,
As missing?
I see it as the real-world rules of missing, but he still knows where his person is, or he could actually be missing, which is pretty sad. If only he could be found and be safe in his loved one's arms. I know as well as you we would help if we could, but sadly the rules of this world is too boring to make it be. Do you want to go outside and catch Pokemon now? We can go grab some good eats and share them after we are done. How's that sound, Red?
Charizard.
Charizard!
So I hope you're already starting to see why I think these videos are some of his best shit. What exactly he meant by the missing person thing, or what relevance that has, or that was in reference to, I sadly do not know. But what I will say is it is quite the combo when you add PL's normal writing patterns given voice through AI, where you can't stumble through the words and it just simply reads it as such. It's kind of surreal, actually. Also, if you're wondering why they both yelled Charizard there, well, apparently this is a vocal stim of sorts for PL, and he's been known to yell it out in public unprompted before. Imagine you're just walking through the store casually, when out of nowhere, suddenly from behind you hear someone scream at the top of their lungs, Charizard! It's pretty funny.
Oh wow, look at this one, Red. This one is canon height. We definitely need to keep this one.
Our Pokemon Go is the most real-life canon as possible, Leaf. This is the best game ever. I love Pokemon Go.
I'm getting hungry, Red. Shall we get some chicken tenders at McDonald's? My tum-tum is feeling like some yum-yum.
Yeah, we can. I just hate ordering from there. And the day we were talking about, we didn't really go to McDonald's, but are saying it to be less doxed and safe in real life. They don't even have their chicken selects anymore. So, what's the point? Gosh, I hate their sauce policy. Why do they always interrupt me before I finish my order? It's either use the touchpad thing with people's germs all over the place, or order in person. I don't know which one is worse.
Come on, silly. Let's just head there and eat inside. You can order for me, of course. Okay, Red, you know what I want. We get the same thing anyways. I know you don't like speaking to people, but stay calm and just order the food for us. Don't think of anything negative. I will go find us a table.
Okay. All I have to say is 2 10-piece chicken nugget meals and a large fry with a sweet tea. Just 2 10-piece chicken nugget meals and a large fry with a sweet tea. I'm good. I got it there. It will be fine. We are hungry.
Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order?
Yes, I want 2 10-piece chicken nugget meals and...
What kind of sauce would you like for your nuggets?
No sauce! Sorry, I want 2 large sweet teas.
Okay, your total is $16.10. Would you like to round up to $17 for the Children's Hospital?
No thanks.
We have to do what we can to spread our love to help others, Red.
No, wait, hold on. I will do it.
Oh good, you got the food. I was beginning to worry.
Leaf is donating a scam in restaurants. I think I just lost us $1.
No, not at all. You did a good thing, Red. Your heart is as sweet as a cute little Pikachu.
Pika P-E.
Wow.
Bro, why did he say that? Why did he do that? But yeah, this is interesting because it does kind of get a much more visceral look into how PL sees interactions with people and is constantly stressed out about it, and how, for him, Leaf almost seems to exist as an entity for calming down his anxiety, rationalizing his thoughts so that he can push through the situation. Although it does beg the question, does PL really get 2 orders of nugs and fries and just like fucking waste the other one or something? Oh, well anyway, then Green shows up and starts bishing PL and Leaf out.
Oh, you two are here? So Leaf, you going to do all the talking for your boyfriend since he's too shy around people other than you?
What? What do you want, Green? We aren't friends. Wait, we aren't friends with her. Right, Red?
No.
Yeah, see? We aren't friends, just leave. We don't want to cause a trouble.
You might as well keep praying about another alt in Masters, because I will arrive in the game before you ever get another alt. Isn't that right, Red?
Can you just stay out of our business? You aren't going to win that easily. Me and Red have been making sure to tell Dina every night.
They care about us. You'll see.
Just like the people cared and talked about you guys during the anniversary story? Haha, no. Nobody talked about you, and that antisocial boyfriend of yours even got banned from Pocha's Discord for having such a fit. The only thing they said about you is that you were Red's coddler, and judging from the situation we are in right now, see what they mean.
Stop it, Green! It's not nice to talk down to others.
This goes on for a while, but it is interesting because if Leaf represents peace and love and hope and is a soothing entity to his anxiety, then I guess Green would be the exact opposite. It would be his fears, anxieties, and the comments of others. His insecurities all manifest. Funny how Leaf and Green are both technically sort of the same character, but also not. And one represents everything that is good, and the other everything that is bad. And they both are inside his head talking to him. Like, without knowing it, PL has created his own superego and id, persona and his shadow. Very different voices speaking to him within inside his mind, but are in many ways a reflection of one another. That aside, after this scene, Red and Leaf then go home to discuss what happened.
Leaf, I'm sorry it's like practicing conversation in my head. I get so angry at those kind of words I can't concentrate on winning the conversation.
It's okay, Red. I know it's hard for you. Let's give Dina feedback just to make sure they hear our voices.
Okay.
I love you, Red. Let's make a fun of it by practicing a social of what is there for you when there, so you can better yourself for improving.
What the fuck did he just say? Anywho, next we see the game of Pokemon Masters EX, sort of represented as this waiting area where PL and Leaf are there to ask for more content, only to be mocked, denied content, and yeah, I'll show you some highlights of the whole scene.
Look, Red, the Dina is all alone. This is our chance for our voice to be heard tonight. We have to take this chance while we can.
Okay, let's go!
Oh, son of a Bulbasaur. Lily is there now. What do? We can't just let her get another alt.
I have a theory that Dina made Steven get 6 alts first on purpose. Just to use the excuse to let Lily have another alt. Leaf, this doesn't look good. You know I'm not the best talker.
You know I got your back. We are a team, remember? And I have a funny feeling you are right about that. How dare Dina do no practices on their player-trainer customers?
I can tell this is going to be a battle before the conversation is even going to begin.
Look! The same number of alts as me when combined just showed up. Oh, and what did you mean by that? Do I need to repeat myself? Mrs., I am only in the game to coddle my boyfriend Red. Oh, hush! We are here to speak to Dina just like you. We don't want any problems. Don't you mean that you, as in just you, are here to speak since you know Red doesn't open up and talk to anyone but you?
Can you shut up, Lily?
Gross. Did he just try to talk to me? If you didn't already know, my villain Narc is coming up, so that means my 6th alt is on the way. What number was it you were on, Leaf? Oh yeah, you're still on your 3rd.
Okay, Dina. We all want Leaf Master Fair, Leaf Lodge, Leaf Alt, and all the official possible, and official Leaf plush, and cards. Please and thanks.
Good job, Red.
I'm sorry the Alolan villain arc is coming soon, and we aren't smart enough to give people what they want during the Kanto Champion Stadium event happening in April. We still have many months until we are considering your feedbacks.
Wait, is that a yes or a no?
It's a no. We hope you continue to enjoy Pokemon Masters EX.
The plush is at least over 10 years of wanting, is it not? You know what I just realized, though? I have more than you and your boyfriend combined. Isn't it funny how life treats people who don't deserve anything better than others who work harder for it?
Nobody cares, Lily. Just shut up.
Gross, don't touch me. Don't you know to never push a lady?
You deserve it for starting
Leaf,
trouble on purpose.
do something about your retard already. What did you just call him?
After that, the episode ends with Leaf and PL reflecting on what happened.
I don't think that went very good.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. It makes my head hurt just thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's okay, Red. Don't listen to those kind of people. That's enough internet for the day. Let's just do stuff together. You know what we haven't done yet this whole video, though?
No, what?
Kiss Silly, come here. Mwah.
Are you feeling better now, Red?
Yeah, thanks, Leaf.
It's like I always say, a kiss a day makes the heart stay.
Yeah, Leaf, I love you.
Aw, I just love when you say that. I love you too, Red. I promise when we get through the changes of this year, everything will be way more better than it is now. A new home, less doxed, and we will even be real-world rules married, even though we are already married by the heart.
Yeah, I really can't wait for our life full of win.
Yeah, we need to take it step by step. Now we should soon finish that Gen 2 game of ours.
Yeah, it has been a year since we last played together. I just want to use Charizard. Is that okay with you, Leaf?
Don't be such a ha-ha, silly. I wouldn't have it any other way, my dear sweet Red.
So, a couple things. When he says less food doxed, he seems to think that if you post pictures of food, like right before you eat it, then it's been doxed. Which is, well, a weird way of looking at that, and perhaps speaks to how he views the concept in general. As for the real world rules married, well, put a pin in that comment for now. We'll be getting to what exactly he meant by that later. But first, we need to take a look at episode 2, which opens on PL fighting Green in this epic battle.
What are you going to do now? You can't win anything. You know nothing else. Your love won't save you this time. My 3 blue eyes, white dragons are going to make you never know what winning is. You should have never agreed to this duel. You will never be like him!
You aren't that red, silly. You're mine.
I'm not that red, but I'm your red.
Don't worry, it's a good thing. It means we are a team.
We're a team?
Just promise me you won't change who you are. I won't let you down, I promise.
Stop stalling and just admit you can't win. You will never be like the real Red.
I may not be OG Red, but I am her Red, and that's what matters. So it's true, I don't know how to play this game, but what I do know how to play is Blue Eyes Charizard!
What? Impossible, that's a Pokemon!
And do you know what this makes me?
You're so autistic!
My own person!
Not everything has to do with Pokemon, you weirdo!
That's where you are wrong! You should trust your Pokemon more and I can have anything I want it to be because I decide my own person!
What the fuck are you even saying?
I'll tell you! Charizard! Blast, burn this bitch out of my face!
Oh no, I am losing. How did I lose to him? Why did I lose? Where did I go wrong? I couldn't even know what it is to win because of how much I lost.
You listen to the fake rules of this world, and that is why you lost. If you just be who your person is and trust your heart, you can do anything.
Truly, no truer words have ever been spoken. However, this turns out to have been just an elaborate vision in his head, one he conjured up specifically to be able to get better at winning arguments.
Red? Red? Who you talking to?
I was just practicing winning conversation because it is the only way to improve more, better.
Well, please be careful. I don't want you breaking the lights again by accident.
It's fine, I was done anyways.
So, did you win the conversation, dear?
Yeah, of course.
Then you know what time it is then. Dance time.
So they dance in celebration of him winning the argument that he had entirely inside his head, and then notes this about real world rules married.
Do you think real world married rules is different than our marriage of the heart right now?
Of course not, silly. We are still going to be us no matter what.
I'm glad.
Now what could he have meant by that? Well, never mind that for now. Leaf then goes to get them a drink to share, which is Preciousleaf tea, which is a real brand of tea, and is something PL has confirmed drinking before because it's called Preciousleaf tea. In fact, he apparently drinks this all the time, and is constantly buying more Preciousleaf tea. And no, I'm not kidding, there's several photos in which he has quote-unquote, doxed his own fucking leaf tea, I guess you could say. A tea he only drinks because it has the word leaf in its name. Not that I'd imagine you'd be all that surprised by that fact by now. Anyway, then we have this scene.
I'm gonna live until the very end.
Based? Kino? King shit? I think so. I mean, can you say that you've ever been this true to your heart before? Bitch, you fucking wish. Anywho, Leaf then comments on his magnum opus.
Is listening through the door, Red. That is so sweet.
Yeah, I could use more practice. I did the whole version we made together.
Just like other things, you always had a knack for the sounding of the sounds. Did you do the Pokemon noises to make it more fun for the heart? I heard someone listening. It was adorable.
I did. Makes it all the more better. I think I was a bit loud, though.
Yeah, you have to make sure you don't overdo it or people will knock on our door. And I know how you get sometimes around people. You have to be careful.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, Red, we are out of tea. We need to go to the store now, please. I know you don't like doing things that are unexpected, but please do it for me.
You don't even have to ask Leaf. For you, I'd do anything, no matter what uncomfortable situation I am in.
You're such a cutie. Okay, then grab your stuff and let's do it. Looks like we are ready then.
Pika, go!
You know, I know this is kind of creepy and sad when you look at it as a whole in its context, but there is also something really endearing about the way they interact with one another. Dare I say, even kind of cute, as characters anyway.
Yeah, look at that cloud, Red. Doesn't it look like a Pikachu a bit?
Yeah, it does. Do you ever wonder what the cloud would look like on the other side of the world when seeing, like, is it flipped over or something with a Pikachu facing the other way?
Oh, I do love the way you think, Red. But I'm not sure that's how cloud physics works, silly.
Do you think it's possible to stand directly underneath the cloud and still see the Pikachu?
You know, I don't quite know myself seeing as they are always in the sky just being a clouds.
Someday we're going to fly up there and find the answers with our Charizard.
That's the spirit! You and me together, doing it all, finding all the answers with the positive winnings of fun. Well, here we are. Are you ready, Red?
Yeah, I'm just not looking forward to getting those stupid fruit bags open.
Aw, come on, just think positive. We need those fruits and veggies for our meals, Red.
Yeah, I will do it, but it doesn't mean I have to like it.
Remember, there's a happy positive in any situation.
Yeah, Leaf, you're right. Let's go.
So we need to get some tea, fruits and vegetables, snacks, and water. Oh, and we should pick up anything else so it can save us from coming back real soon.
Charizard. Leaf, I just said Charizard in Walmart on a Thursday.
Red, let's play looking at the Charizard Sayer after we get everything we need.
I know, it's just hard to resist. It's always different feeling to do things in a way on specific days, or saying my favorite Pokemon on different days. Especially on Wednesday, since that's our day. And it has cute feelies for the heart.
Red, once we are done shopping and get back home, I promise to give all the cute feelies you need for your heart and share a tea with you.
Okay, what do we get first?
So from here we have a montage of Leaf and PL shopping at Walmart to the beat of the song Hey Ya by Outkast, which I obviously can't show you the audio of, but is pretty funny. Then by the end of this little excursion, we get a scene of PL and Leaf playing a game of looking at the Charizard Sayer.
Well, this is a longer line than expected. Do you want to use the normal cashier?
No, I can't. Let's just wait. I can't imagine myself talking to the cashier again about things of a conversation when I don't even know what they are talking about. It's just scary and embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't want to put any more pressure on you. Want to play looking at the Charizard Sayer?
Yeah, let's just keep saying it till the game ends and then fade out the video to where we're sitting at home.
Now that's a way to explain real-life canon, okay? You remember the rules. If a person looks at either one of us when saying it, that means the person looked at loses. Okay, go.
Charizard?
Charizard.
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 Charizard!
Charizard!
Someone looked at you, Red. I won.
Pollypoop, why do you always beat me at this game?
That's because you are good at saying Charizard, my dear. The checkout is open. Let's pay for this stuff and head home now.
Charizard?
You know, it really is difficult to even commentate on stuff like this, to be honest with you. But I will say that the concept of him screaming Charizard as loud as he can in a Walmart until someone looks at him, while he imagines his Tulpa wife doing the same thing until someone looks at him, probably out of sheer fear or confusion, is both really fucking funny, but also the idea that Leaf then rationalizes him always winning this game being because he's just so good at saying Charizard instead of, you know, her not fucking being real is truly on a different level of comprehension. This is an entirely different universe of thought and brainwaves, but I am here for it. This moves on into this scene where again, PL sort of expresses his feelings and doubts while Leaf comforts and reassures him.
Leaf, do you think I will have any more friends on the internet than I do now?
Of course you will. Why would you think you wouldn't? You're the best person I know.
I don't know, I just feel I'm not a good talker, and it's scary sometimes to say what you actually want, and lots of times people try to hurt my feelings for no reason.
Don't listen to them, Red. People would be lucky to be your friend. I know I feel I am the luckiest girl in the world. Someday they will see of you what I see in you. You have such a sweet heart. Everyone is new to things all the time, just like when we became close. Don't you remember how you treated me as a true friend?
Yeah, how could I forget something that was so best in my life at the time?
Well, what do you want to do now, Red?
You know, you're my first friend as a person I ever had.
Well, we are a team.
I really never had a friend for this long, and I'm not sure what I'm feeling right now.
It's happiness, see? I told you I would help you.
My old friends were just bugs in my backyard, and frogs if I could catch them.
You love animals so much you become friends with them? That's so cute. Where are they now? Why aren't you friends with them anymore?
My dad got mad at me and threw them out. He didn't like grasshoppers in the house and didn't like me sneaking frogs in. I think it's strange how grasshoppers go to the bathroom through their mouth, though.
That's just terrible. Nobody should go to the bathroom through their mouth.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how they get sick and throw up. Do you think it's...
Stop it right there, mister. We need to work on when to say necessary things with you. It's okay, I'll help.
Do friends give each other things? You're helping me, so I want to give you something. I'm not used to this, so I'm just going to do what my heart told me to do. I want you to have this since you like Venusaur so much. I was also wondering if we can just share everything more from now on, since we are trying to help each other out.
Oh, Red. You are such a nice person. Yes, I wanted to share everything with you, too. We're going to be the best team together and become more stronger each day.
Charizard.
You know his backstory, that being that he was all alone and had no friends, and his only friends were the animals and bugs he caught in his backyard, makes me wonder if that was something he did at a very young age, maybe even before he started playing Pokemon. It would really explain his obsession with it, even more so, since catching little creatures was something he was already doing. Maybe it's what made him feel a greater connection to the game, and why he came to the conclusion in his own version of reality that the game really was about him, and why Leaf eventually became so important to him. It's food for thought if nothing else. Leaf then gives PL one last pep talk.
From you and treat others the same.
Yeah, I do the best I can.
It's about spreading our love and being grateful for what we share together. That's why I know many people will like you. Did you want some tea, sweetie?
Yes, please and thanks.
Okay, so are you ready to do it now?
Yeah, let's do it!
Before we then get back into the Dina Center to fight for more content in Pokemon Masters EX again, which funnily enough is an act that gets all the other Pokemon trainers and I guess characters that are supposed to represent the Pokemon fanbase, his trolls, his stalkers, etc. reaction to him and Leaf entering the building.
Attention! I am Adina. The Preciousleaf is coming online. Be ready for when he gets here. He is coming. We are so not that smart to have dumb events with no good banners to make the game
I heard
boring.
things about
It's just
him,
a
so I
game
will
of
just be
wait.
dumb and believe everything they say.
Nothing is right. They are the most nothing in the whole community. Nobody cares about Leaf or her stupid, retarded boyfriend.
Time to see if the rumors are true.
I love this stupid little entrance and how it kind of looks into the mind, or at least where he was at that particular point in time. That him entering a Discord server, posting somewhere, etc. That everyone knew him and most hated him, and that he was ready for a fight by now, before then getting a taste of reality.
Why, you? Who threw that? What is wrong with you?
Are you okay, dear? Let me see.
Look!
Leaf is coddling her husband. It's the only reason she's in this game.
Coddling? I am seeing if Red is okay because I love him, you immature jerks.
Be sure to give him plenty of spit kisses.
You
so
think
he
you're
feels
funny?
better.
Laugh while you can. Come on, Red, let's go over here.
He then has this little interaction where he tries to think about how he's going to talk to a group of people, and it goes about how you probably think it would. This all being a representation of how his interactions are like in Discord servers that he doesn't specifically own. I think you get the idea by now. However, there is then a rather interesting fourth wall break, which we see that PL acknowledges that he is making a video, and that this exact interaction isn't real, but that he is making it and Leaf is encouraging him to do it.
Why do I keep insulting myself? Who's writing my lines?
How do you think there's a way to win against the lilies in the video?
Just make them be what is of them. They are real jerks to you, so they should appear that way.
Oh, wait, what you just told me gave me the most idea of win. Check this out.
Just let them be what is of them. It's legit one of the funniest fucking ways of saying that expression. Then we have yet another argument about Leaf and PL plopping. Also, I feel like I shouldn't have to explain this, but plopping means having sex. Why PL so specifically got attached to the word plop for that context, I don't fucking know, man, but yeah.
The writing is on the walls. What the fuck?
He's a visual. Say those words, it will be of that. Even though if he knows the meaning or not, so get over it. We are out of here.
Did you do this shit?
Well, look who it is. It's the ploppers.
You freaks are so immature.
They decided to take a break from having a sexual with each other and try to be normal for once.
You don't have any proof of what we were doing?
We have all the proofs of your wife not having a plush or cards unlike us because we are selfish and don't deserve anything we got.
It looks like they are trying to start a trouble again, Red. Be careful, sweetie. I don't want you feeling hurt.
Don't you have children to take care of? You aren't trainers. Go make more children together.
Just drop it.
Leaf will get no master fare, no lodge, no alts, no merch, no plush, no cards. The only content you two are getting is more children and pictures of you plopping.
Fuck off!
Now sadly this last part I can't show here on YouTube, due to him using the song I Need a Hero by Bonnie Tyler. Fuck and abolish copyright, by the way. But basically, what plays out is PL fighting all of the internet for his precious leaf, never giving up, fighting arguments, screaming into the void, it all being represented as him saving Leaf and defeating everyone else to this grandiose music video in his head where Green is the final boss, before then Leaf comforts him, reminding him that they have lots of important things to do soon, that they will soon be getting real life married. Again, something that I promise is going to become very relevant later on. Now those are the main videos I wanted to show you of PL. He made well over 200 videos, but these I think are the best ones and a good sample of his typical fare, though there will be a few more videos to watch later on as well as they become relevant. But for now, let's take a step back away from the inner mind of PL and look at a few of the major trolling events that he has gone through but I have yet to fully give attention until now. So, as you might imagine, PL has gone through quite a few battles with trolls, and while many we have seen have simply opted to respond to him or mock him on Discord, others have gotten far more creative with their trolling efforts over the years, and again, as you might imagine, have gotten quite the rise out of PL, with one such case being done back in the early days of his posting on 4chan, as people started to buy ad space for the /VP and post stuff like this there just to specifically piss PL off. Worst girl, awful for the heart. By the way, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet, but something that PL often says when he is actually praising Leaf is that she is good for the heart. It's something he said much more often in the beginning than later, but it is kind of his catchphrase, so awful for the heart was definitely something that was specifically attacking his speech patterns and his little catchphrases. Green is the best girl and important for the heart. Green versus Leaf score for week ending April 30th. Successful green threads, 1. So popular it hit image limit, huge success. Successful Leaf threads, 0. 2 attempts made, both threads deleted. Thanks /VP for your continued love and support for green. We are winning! Let's go lesbians, good for the heart. Yeah, I think you get the idea. Then, in a case that wasn't specific to PL, but a lot of people thought it was a case of PL not being able to finish the captchas whenever he would have to, well, get back in onto 4chan after being 3-day banned, with him often complaining about it on Zitter that he's not able to finish the captchas, and how pissed off he is about that, and how 4chan is deliberately keeping him out by making him do these captchas. Of course, many would just assume that he's just being a little bit, well, dumb, with the big joke being that he's so dumb he didn't even know how to finish a captcha correctly. However, in a funny twist of fate, with 4chan recently getting hacked and completely annihilated for the moment, something important must be brought up. A rumor from users of 4chan theorized a method of thread banning issued by the mods, involving a false letter being added to the end of a captcha in order to give the illusion of a false error when attempting to post. PL complained about the captchas, unaware of this very thing happening to him, and probably a lot. Probably in the attempts to keep him out with a soft ban, since he clearly was annoying a lot of the people there. So I guess, regarding recent events, he got his revenge in a way. In another case, someone else also made a post where they took a valuable card that featured Leaf on it and marked her out with a marker, once again, just to get a rise out of PL, which it, well, very much did. Anon, how do you live in Japan? I'm a grad student here. It's been pretty fun so far. Also, am girl. And as you can see here with this picture, she has specifically drawn Leaf out of the picture. To which Leaf responded, quote, "Why would you do this color on the Leaf sticker and ruin it? Why would you? I am someone that would buy for $50 or more and appreciate it a lot, and you treat it like trash and garbage for no reason. I didn't do anything to you. I just wanted to know what they were called and if it was a normal Leaf sticker and EX1, and you didn't answer. You made the worst answer possible. Hate you!" This one, by the way, is the context for why exactly PL did that one video where he is screaming at the top of his lungs, which I'll go ahead and remind you sounded like this. And also is notable for another detail that I did not share until now. That being that he smashed his face against the wall so hard that he actually broke a tooth out of his mouth, which you can see here. And you can see the full post for it in context, noting, quote, "I'm banging my head and screaming because I still don't understand how a person I don't know when was asking how to get the sticker would do that to only the Leaf sticker because of me. I don't know at all. I'm hurt my back tooth by banging my head. But I don't care, I'm on floor. Shut up, stop, look, it's fine, I'm okay. There is nothing wrong with it, it's just a back tooth. I'm fine, I only banging my head sometimes. I'm calming down more, but I don't want to think about it, I just don't!" Unquote. And this sadly was not the only time where PL had accidentally destroyed something, as noted before. Time he got a nosebleed, once again from banging his head against the wall too hard, stating, quote, "Stupid assholes make me of worry, and then scare me when it happens of that gross stuff and hurt my face so it's all bleeding. She's helping me with it. I just look at Lee's face the whole time to try to go away from that, and mistake for real life, wake up last second quick dream," unquote. Which is actually genuinely upsetting to see, with once again, many people pointing out that this person seems like a rather crazed individual even back then when he was doing stuff like this with his tooth. To it later evolving into people becoming genuinely concerned for him and wanting to try to avoid further major trolling events happening to him, for worry that he may do something worse. Even still, this was not going to stop some people from messing with PL even more, with there being one example where someone decided to flex on PL that they got a metal Charizard card, and showed it off with this little message for him. Quote, "I paid MSRP for this. You can too if you pay attention to the right channels. Don't be like Preciousleaf and think about paying scalper prices for it. Don't even think about it. P.S. Fuck Preciousleaf. He will never get this Metal Charizard card, or the reprint from Celebration's classic collection, unquote. To which PL reacted like this, quote, "Which one of you did it? Who did it? Tell me now! Someone just fucking showed this to me. I'm crying. Maybe if you were at my place, you would understand how hard it is to find these cards, and I don't even have a car, and I can't drive. I walk. I just hope the Leaf thread isn't talking bad about us with fake sexual. This hurts. This all needs to stop," unquote. And thus people mocked and teased him for a few days after this, before PL then turned the tables and ended up buying these cards too for MSRP with his own reactions and messages. Quote, "Incel retard. PL bought at MRSP. I'm winning. Fuck you. At Incel retard. I won. I got the box for MSRP. It was there with some other things, but didn't get it, but I'm winning for this. The asshole was wrong and lost, and I have this Charizard now, and there is nothing you can do about it but be jealous of my happy moment. Took picture in kitchen, my heart," unquote. Which honestly, king shit. He totally mocked them for that. However, as noted before, one way that always managed to work and get under PL's skin was to tease him about having sex with Leaf, and thus lots of creative measures were taken into getting a rise out of him from this specific weak point, including making this MMD chart, these intimate videos featuring them, which did get quite the reaction out of him. Quote, "Hear it because I'm flooring and banging, just know you upset me so much I will look up ways to get back at you in trouble, so there will be none of it, and there's sounds of Charizard to not dox my voice or place your aren't listening all either gets over it. It's my life you're trying to ruin." To which this audio with this picture was posted, which I'll just play like a couple seconds of. Unironically, just a minute 40 seconds of just purely that. Then someone ended up using AI to make Leaf say this.
Hi, I'm Leaf. Red and I are built for each other's parts. Our purpose is to plop and be glued together forever and ever. Green is a more better girl and real trainer who replaced me. Our children will follow in Green and Lily's footsteps and become real trainers unlike Red and me. John's parents won.
Which again pissed PL off a great deal. To this one time where this guy decided to take these two figures and glue them together, which I guess is sort of related, but also in general pissed him off majorly, because most of all, he ruined those two figures. Quote, "Shut up! We don't do that. And the figures, he ruined them. You can't even see her face on them. You fucking glued us. Our figures is glue." Why? There was also other little trolling events, like when people started posting feet fetish stuff of Leaf after it was revealed that PL didn't understand that that stuff was fetish stuff and deleted it all, but now people are posting them to tease him. Then there was this time that someone made this little video mocking Leaf when he said that he was God in his own Discord server. This video.
Come on, I'll lead the way.
And, this video, taking one of the videos from before of Leaf and PL jumping off a mountain into, yeah, I'll just show it to you. There was also an occasion someone tried to make a petition to have PL get banned off Zitter, but it was once again just made to get a rise out of PL, which I suppose by now you've sort of gotten the point of. Oh, one last one I suppose I should note was this time that this absolutely disgusting, wretched fucking troll posted a picture personally to PL in his DMs showing Leaf marked out of a picture where it says Leaf is unnecessary, a piece of paper that said Leaf is shit, another one where it has fuck Leaf, worst girl, and finally one that I don't think I can show you fully here on YouTube, but basically he took that picture of fuck Leaf and put it in his toilet, pissed on it, shit on it, and then flushed it down the toilet. The pissing and flushing part being actually videos for PL to see personally. I assure you, you do not want to see these images. All of which PL posted and simply said in response, "I'm crying and hurt," which I'd say is fair. I could go on, but I think you get the idea. Which means I think it's time we move on to the next act of this tale. The explosive and rather bizarre finale of this entire story of this leaf-loving bro. But before that, I'd like to note something about PL that maybe has gone without saying, but is all too important to point out. Having looked at all this, I think something must always be remembered. Past all the rants, lore, videos, and major trolling events is a man, a person. Someone who, no matter how you feel about him, if you hate him, love him, think he's funny, find this whole situation rather sad, disturbing, or just indifferent to it, simply watching a train wreck because it's in front of you. It's important to note that behind it all is a person, someone who really believes that Leaf, this fictional Pokemon character, is beside him. In truth, even if left to his own devices, trolling or no, PL is someone, because of this fact, is in a vicious cycle of needing more content, merch, fan art, needing to express his love for her. Because the truth is, she's not right there beside him. She's only a figment of his imagination. A tulpa perhaps, but even in that, she is still but just a concept. Somehow more powerful, yet formless because of it. She is not someone he can touch, not someone he can hold in the dark of the night as he lays in his bed all alone, not someone who he can actually marry and have children with. His love can only go so far, this far, in fact. And thus all he can do is express his love through almost dogmatic devotion, in a similar way to how one might express their devotion to God. It's real to him. It gives him purpose. It gives him happiness in a world that cast him aside from a young age, left him to rot, to never be understood. Thus is why Preciousleaf, for years without fail, be there people watching or paying attention or not, would still keep posting, ranting and crying in spiraling anger, a Lolcow cycle through and through. But while others like him so often were smug, self-aggrandizing, or even evil. Could the same really be said of PL? Nah, I don't think so. PL's Lolcow cycle was less funny, but just simply more sad, destructive, and yet truth be told, there wasn't much anyone could do. Hell, no one even knew his real name. The best that they got was John, because he once said that he shared the name of one of the default names of the male MC in the original Pokemon, and John was the most normal and logical choice of those. No one knew what he looked like, nor where he lived. He was in so many ways just as much an enigma as he was an open book, something that as time went on, and that Kiwi Farm Story continued to document him, despite pages upon pages of much of the same, they still continued, and as I said, even came to defend PL in some cases, because they didn't believe he deserved any more suffering. And yet it was perhaps foolish optimism to think he could ever have anything more than that he could ever escape his own mind. And even if he somehow did, would him giving up Leaf really net him anything positive? This world is often so very cruel to those who don't fit within its mold, and left without Leaf, who is PL? Was there anything else, if not for his precious, oh so precious Leaf? The following are some thoughts from several users on the forum discussing their feelings on Preciousleaf as time has gone on. Quote, Preciousleaf is one of the few cows I genuinely feel sorry for. Also, I think the OP should specifically mention his extreme aversion to anything sexual, seeing as how often it comes up. And as someone in the Pokemon Lolcow thread pointed out, it paints a really disturbing picture if you connect the dots from how generally mentally unwell he is, to his parents abandoning him, to him completely hating anything at all sexual. I hope he really gets the help he needs. And anyone who thinks the internet discovering his address would lead to that, and not some, using it to fuck with him further instead, is a retard. I think PL isn't a simple case of waifuism. It could have been in the childhood trauma, like some Anons stated before, and he may have seen Leaf's face, a reassuring smile that helped him. I'm not especially interested in what PL is up to these days, as his circumstances and behaviors are pretty set in stone and unremarkable. Run-of-the-mill rages and difficulty performing normal tasks. The lamest weens and orbiters I've ever seen takes that feeling to another level. I don't even especially care to find out what he looks like. To me, the real intrigue with him is what the hell happened to him in his childhood to have made him turn out like this. His relationship with his parents, his refusal to address it directly, and his status as an unreliable narrator is what's so compelling to me. When he does address it, it's indirect and somewhat vague, and clearly told from the perspective of somebody who can't remotely understand empathy or seeing things from somebody else's perspective. How much of it is embellished? How much of it is true? How much of it is messed up as it sounds? How much of PL is mental illness versus how much of it is his upbringing? From a human interest standpoint, that's the real draw, in my opinion. Classic nature versus nurture, and finding out specific details as they slowly leak over time for us to put the puzzle together. Well said, Schwarzwald. And indeed, that puzzle was about to finally be solved, as the last few so elusive pieces fell upon the table. Or perhaps they were always there, hidden out of view. Pieces that were there from the start, from over 5 years ago, when PL first came to exist upon the web. A dark truth, one that would finally reveal the answer of the gulf between our two realities, our two worlds, ours and that of PL's. One that others averted their eyes from, acted as if their history could explain who PL really was, what his story consisted of, through the garbled text that was his words, the manic visuals of his many music videos, and of every expression of love he had for his dear Preciousleaf, and anger for all those who would spite her, real or not. After all of that, I suppose we ought to stand upon the stage for the final act and finally put this puzzle together to see the truth behind our reality-crossed lovers. Now from here, something strange had begun to happen. For years, it had all been very much the same cycle. In some strange ways, sad as it was, there was a kind of comfort, a security that came with, well, at least it's not gonna get worse than this, right? Even if it never gets better. But then PL had started posting about something kind of strange. Something about a real world rules wedding. Now it should be noted that in PL's mind, him and Leaf had already been married in what he called the heart. Married in the heart. But now he was looking to be real life rules married. Or married in real life. Only one problem. Leaf didn't actually exist. So rumors about if PL was going even more insane began to fester about, with others theorizing that PL had recently moved, and that perhaps at this new facility they were playing into his little illusions, and allowing him to marry, like, say a picture or something of Leaf, maybe even one of his little figures. It's certainly going to be the first time someone has done something like that, even if it is totally fucking crazy. However, as time went on, it was clear something far stranger was afoot, as pictures started to be shared on /VP of what appeared to be none other than PL, his face still hidden, with a Leaf cosplayer, something which got a ton of people in the Kiwi Farms thread confused and frankly a little worried as theories began to circle. Quote, "It's been a while since last following this cow. Now I'm seeing photos of him with some Leaf cosplayer? Does Preciousleaf have a Leaf girlfriend now? I don't think the cosplayer images have been posted here. Where have you seen them? I really hope this is real. Chad PL ass blasting the entirety of VP. I'm rooting for our boy PL. Those can't be real. Though if they were, it would be funny if a green cosplayer came out at them like the Pickle Man did during the Chris and Emily's date," unquote. And this is the picture that they were all referring to. PL would also post several things related to this very thing via his Zitter, as well as Reddit. Like this post, for example, where he shows a picture of Leaf in a wedding dress, with the caption of, "Best girl Leaf in a wedding dress for me of real life rules this year to be married in September." For these posts. She wants me to do stuff with her, have the happy positives and happy feels, need to get room ready too for this coming month. All this stuff here, need to organize it, our collection stuff to keep it a lot. I guess the corner of knowing will be thrown away or something. Only about a half a month before getting ready to move, going to beat our game, be done with that, and get ready to then prepare for all the good changes maybe this year, around our month. There will be a good of official still needs to get those shirts is important. By the end of this year, we will have a Leaf plush and more Leaf content of official. I made sure it. Now need to figure out how I build this shelf. It's like a percentage complete of a game, but with a shelf instead. I already got done telling people in real we are being married. As well as this one post where he says that he's stressing out so much that he's shitting his pants. Stupid shit. Now I have to change what I'm wearing because of this dumb shit. If these people didn't start the trouble or ever talk of me, this wouldn't ever happen. Can't even wear the color I want because of this much stressing. I'm yelling at past 5 a.m. Gosh, I feel so fucked right now. This led many to start to wonder just who the fuck this cosplayer was and what it meant for PL, as many theorized on what this means, and furthermore, if PL was in actual danger, as one of the more prominent guesses was that this person was a troll, or a ween, someone who directly fucks with a lolcow, and that they only had hurt, or more hurt, in mind for PL, be they wanting to pretend to marry him only to pull the rug out from underneath him, thus hurting him and making him feel even more alone. Someone who wanted to, maybe have his baby and fuck him over some sort of child support deal. Or someone who wanted to become part of this lolcow narrative by taking complete control of it, thus controlling PL, and ultimately someone who didn't have his best interest in mind. Of course, it was possible this was all some sort of stunt, and maybe PL was even in on it to some degree, to win one over on the trolls, or own them, I guess. But nonetheless, this was looking kind of bad if PL was really going to real life marry this cosplayer, this woman, as some sort of conduit for actually marrying Leaf. And it definitely put into question the intentions of the individual who would be willing to do that for him. Worst case scenario, a ween on Discord has convinced him she's Leaf and is talking to him. What is the end goal of this Tard Wrangler with this? I don't see any situation where this will make him improve as a human in any way at all, and probably make him worse due to buying into his bullshit. Then user, Zajerb, proposed the following theory as a bit of a curveball. So interesting thing is that I don't necessarily know if this is even a situation where PL has been hallucinating Leaf at all. I'm going to propose a bit of a theory that may sound as schizo as PL himself. What if Leaf has always been real? It would explain the insistence that cosplays / fan art aren't her, would explain a lot about how he states he interacts with her, and would also clarify why he and his family are on bad terms. To elaborate, I believe that PL engaged in a delusion in early adolescence circa 2004, where he believed that Leaf was his soulmate. He then found someone, a classmate or otherwise, who held the same belief but in the opposite direction, towards Red, or was malleable enough that they fell into his mold and what Leaf should be. Follow that with a breakaway from his family, less because they thought he was being childish and instead because they disagreed with his relationship. It begins to make more sense. friends. PL bought a residence because more comfortable gradually living in his area, and then instead of moving to an assisted living facility, moved in with the Leaf that he always had. It's admittingly not airtight considering we have no proof. She hasn't appeared in anything, etc. But it also would explain some of the anomalies of PL's current situation. People discussed that theory and others for a while, but then ultimately came to the conclusion that it was far more likely, under Occam's razor, that no, PL is literally just a crazy person, and that whoever is doing this or wanting to marry him is probably a ween and someone with bad intentions. It should be noted that this whole time, PL seemed quite pleased with all this, and seemed like he was excited to get married to Leaf in real life rules, possibly thinking that marrying this Leaf conduit would be as close as he could get to marrying the real thing. But for what purpose? And who was this woman? Where has she come from? That was anyone's guess, but people were feverishly trying to find out the truth, as once again, they still didn't truly know who PL was, so they had no way of knowing who this woman was either, but many wondered if she would be the key to finally unlocking that long-held secret. All the while, PL will post things like this, where he censored his little wedding ring, but noted that the person he's marrying told him that he has to wear this at all times, even in the bath, which seemed to puzzle him a little bit. And in the background of one of PL's streams, they could actually hear the sound of what sounded like an actual woman behind him. In response to all this, PL would make several comments about all this theorizing via Zitter. Quote, "Well, for our day of winning, I will post what is us, but it is none of your business. For the questions of knowing, we like to keep our life private. I will be of the posting, and she wanted me to as well, so sent me it with hers. Now just need a official Leaf plush, but we have one soon. Since I'm busy winning and how you don't know about our life, I always record things on a phone for what we do when of walking to make sure no one talks to us if on honeymoon we could go. How do you think this happened? Oh, you can't know. We are just curious for your excuses. That's all we are in quotes." He also posted this video in which he explained the whole situation a little bit more, that this woman was somehow connected to him, and had been for a very long time. Now all the information in that video, just to be clear, would mean a clear rewriting of past events that everyone thought was pretty well set in stone. That being that theoretically, Leaf was actually a real person, and not just a character, and that she was a childhood friend of PL's. And it would seem that both PL's parents were a little against this, or at least his father was very much against him being with her. But his mom, on the other hand, seems to have been supportive of it, and that at some point in the past, this Leaf person asked PL if he would marry her, and he said no, but that they could be married of the heart for now. Which I suppose under this current new chain of events would mean that they are now getting married for real in real life. And while this certainly could have been the case, a lot of Kiwi Farms users were rather suspicious of the sudden change to the established lore, especially with this mysterious woman entering the fray, and her seemingly having quite a lot of control over his social media accounts and the like. Many feared the worst, that a woman had entered the scene and was now manipulating PL for insidious purposes, perhaps somehow convincing him that she was always there alongside him, or that she was somehow a reincarnation or conduit of the character Leaf herself. Quote, "I think Fleshleaf is his handler, but the wedding was pretend/to mind Leaf. New PL original film. What the fuck? Fleshleaf is an immigrant using PL for a green card. I know I proposed the schizo theory that Leaf was always real, but at this point I'm really hoping that that were true. Otherwise, the Christian cycle exists for all living things. I'm 99% sure Leaf is a figment of PL's disturbed mind. Maybe the photos come from the situation in which PL is a literal John and is paying a prostitute with Pokemon cards. Isn't his story that they met as kids, and she's why his parents abandoned him? If Leaf truly is real, she'd have to be somebody PL has known for a very long time. Otherwise, how would she convince a schizo that she's actually his hallucination made flesh, and why? Part of me still wants to believe PL is a troll like Jace was, but the amount of time and autism he'd have to expend to sell the illusion as well as he has is too monumental an undertaking for any normal person. Holy fuck, it's a real person. I was legitimately expecting him to be standing at the altar alone, but convinced his imaginary friend is next to him, and he's holding her hand, or holding a little plastic figure of Leaf that he kisses at the end. I initially leaned towards this being a strange cope in which PL used some cosplay couple photos. He saved every piece of Leaf media in the world, so maybe a cosplay photo that got deleted and thus does not show up in the reverse searches. But the phrase, "she wanted me to as well, so sent me it from hers," referring to the phone, makes me lean heavily towards Ween finally needing to attention whore, though the former is still hopefully possible at least. Kiwi friends, are we witnessing our harmless, wholesome Schizo Cow getting raped? Is this the janky arc for PL? Stop the silly theories and just accept real-life canon. He is enjoying a marriage of happy with his all-the-pretty wife Leaf, a life of positives until they go to Kanto together later. Red 1. This is just weird now. I have no words, just so many questions. That ultimately, I think, really sealed the deal on what all this was. So many were theorizing, hoping that this wasn't as bad as what they thought it was actually going to be. And to make things even more interesting, as they started to pay attention to this woman's discussion to PL via Zitter, because she actually did have a Zitter account, and they interacted with each other publicly on there for whatever reason. Many of you, as I'm sure you started to begin noticing, referring to her as Fleshleaf, and it wouldn't be long before Fleshleaf would catch wind of everyone on the farms talking about her, and thus she would eventually respond in kind to all of them herself. My husband is sleeping well now, and I come back to see your funny theories about me. Tell me, what do you know about my husband's life besides from the internet? Do you know if I was at his home the whole time? I am not a cult, so leave the poor girl alone. I am someone you have never spoken to or heard of. We have our own things in life that we need to deal with, and I dealt with them. You know nothing about me. I am not someone he recently met on the internet. I have always been his Leaf since I met him years and years ago. I would never let him meet anyone on the internet, and he feels the same way. He was very careful not revealing me, because we aren't someone without a brain looking to get doxxed. Those theories you come up are sure something else, and I'm sure that kind of brain will get you a woman in the future. Oh, and the marriage? It is 100% legit. I have waited so long with this, but because he has so much anxiety, he never went through with it until you pushed him to the point he wanted to prove all you creepers wrong. I thank you for that. We both enjoyed the wedding. So let me give you a list of reminders. You don't know me. You never met me on the internet. You don't know when I was at the home he was staying at. You don't know my situation, and you certainly don't know his whole life either. What answers does that leave you with besides with what you think you know? You can continue to be wrong by all means. That makes it better for us. I could end this little debate easily by doxing ourselves, but I am not sure who is stupid enough to do so. Just know that the man you make fun of has someone who loves him, and it makes you boil with disbelief you don't want to believe it. It's true, and there isn't an answer out there that you will have for who I am. You say I am Fleshleaf, so yes, I have known him in the flesh for 17 years. I was a game addict at that time. Figure it out yourself. I am rolling the floor laughing at these stupid theories based on what you think you know about my husband. Nobody knows him better than me. All you basement-dwelling creeps trying to ruin his life, of where he has no place on the internet, know little about him. Not even his friends know half the stuff I do. He hides lots of secrets. He's insecure and trusts nobody but me. He won't even 100% trust his online friends. He has no friends in real life. I have friends, and he's free to hang with me and my friends if he wants. He struggles in social situations. You don't know him. I will say I usually do not condone violence, but I would definitely show that girl who inked on that sticker a thing or two for making my husband feel that way. You don't understand how worried I was for him at that point in time. Again, I could do nothing. You don't know me. Our relationship is genuine. He loves everything we do together. If you think there is going to be any unhappy ending, that's just hilarious. We have loved each other as lovers for more than 14 years. Only happy endings here, fellas. Sorry. I can't do anything about lady problems you deal with. Let's be real here. You probably have never felt true love for someone like my husband does for me. That's why it is so hard for you to believe that we have been married for a couple weeks now. He's a better man than any of you creeps could ever treat a woman. If you knew him, you would understand why. The thing is, you don't know him. You only drive him to prove you wrong, and that's not his nicest side. He has the best qualities in someone I ever met. He's a sweetheart, and he doesn't deserve your constant trolling and harassment on the internet. If things get worse with him, like they were at his first place, I will take precaution and revoke his internet access altogether. Please understand he is trying to find groups to hang with that likes the same interests as him. I will be the one to show him new things and help him. I don't need a few internet badasses trying to tell how my husband should be. He's fine the way he is. And again, you do not know everything about him. This isn't some wean operation to make him feel bad. I've been with him for over 14 years, except he has someone who is real to him. If you want to say things on his own Zitter or Discord, that's fine. I'm okay with what he feels comfortable with. I just want you punks to know in your own kind of disgusting inhuman language that he has been laid before any of you and continues to accept my love, so there. I will be joining my husband in bed now, eagerly awaiting all your stupid theories about who I am. It really makes our day seeing how wrong you are about me. Please continue, because so far nobody has ever even gotten close. I've known him before he was known as Preciousleaf on the web. I told you part of the situation, so take it as you will. You will never get a definitive answer because we are not stupid wanting to be doxxed. Now please excuse me while I go to sleep with my husband. I can't wait to show him that stupid theory you clowns make up next. Good grief. Unquote. However, yet again, people did not respond well to this, you might imagine. And they were very sure that this woman was trying to epically troll and hurt PL in a way that he hadn't been before. They were afraid that it may get so bad that this person eventually pushes PL into taking his own life. And while that may seem extreme, there are many such cases of this exact thing happening, or almost happening, that gave many people ample reason to worry, with a prime example of this having been referenced earlier by a user, the case of Chris Chan and Isabella Janke, with Janke pushing Chris into the idea that sleeping with his own mother was, well, good/normal. And while I think Chris Chan still is mostly to blame for that situation, since he still seems to have a grasp of what he's actually doing, Janke and her crew went in with the intention of becoming internet famous by having Chris Chan do this, with the ultimate end goal then to have Chris Chan end his own existence. Chris Chan is a very malleable person, as many such cases that have been documented showcase. The one thing going for PL is that he wasn't quite as malleable, but no one really knew what it was like whenever they were actually a person that was in close proximity to him. On the web, there are those that take this whole thing way too far. This whole act of watching strange people, documenting and discussing them, and turns it into their own personal hunting game. It's why on the Kiwi Farms, one of the main and most important rules is to simply observe and discuss these people here, and to not go and mess with them or plot to mess with them there. You are simply there to observe, document, and discuss. And anyone trying to actually hurt or mess with these individuals, outside of calling the authorities if they happen to be a predator or something like that, is highly looked down upon or outright hated, and reported in many such cases. And thus, it seemed like this sad tale was finally spiraling into its finale, one that no matter the outcome would lead to ultimately more needless suffering for PL. And all for what? For or internet fame, for the sick thrill of harming another. What's worse is PL seemed pretty oblivious to this all, and seemed to be standing up for this woman any chance he got, which did give some hope that maybe this was legit. Maybe they were all too cynical and that this was actually something good for PL. While others, it only brought more fear of what they were sure was an impending doom. This would once again lead into Preciousleaf responding, closing and reopening her Zitter account several times, and it all slow building to its ultimate conclusion. Finally, the truth.
Just remove your hat!
You both will end up getting shot wearing those costumes every day.
If you love her, I'm really happy for you.
You can't hide everything forever. You need to come out of yourself.
I can't do this anymore. She's counting on me. I made her a promise.
Red! What's taking so long? You're worrying me.
If she keeps babying you around like that, she's going to get you killed.
Don't tell me what to do anymore!
Red! Are you going to come out of that bathroom? Please answer!
Only for you, Lee.
The day is October 11th, 2023. The post to the forum was made by user Jerub, and it was this post where people would finally get their answer about not only this whole real-life marriage situation after weeks of wondering what the fuck was going on, countless interactions between farm users and Preciousleaf and PL, arguments going on, constant discussions, little videos made about the topic on PL's channel. All of it would finally get to the conclusion, to the truth, about who exactly PL is. Quote, after a lot of investigation and significant help from the group of A Hapless Toad, Crypto Jew, and Buttercream, and myself, we've compiled a pretty solid docs of PL and Fleshy. Buckle up. Initial discoveries. As you all know, Fleshy has been posting pictures of her and PL IRL since she came to light. With some of these pictures, we're able to identify a few key pieces of information. First off, taking a look at this picture, we were able to reverse image search and locate it on Instagram. At face value, it could be innocent, but we check out some of her pictures, we see something interesting. Alright, looks convincing. Let's take a look at Facebook. Turns out she has a twin, as well as a brother. And then there's this post here, shared from the Facebook. We're getting so excited to get married in September. John is moving to Montreal with me in July to get things ready. I'm very happy to be with the man I love for the rest of my life. God is at the center of our relationship, and we trust him to guide our steps. Huh, John, eh? Looking at John, he appears to be very similar in appearance and stature to PL, plus the name matches. Looking at the comments, we see that his mother and sister replied to the announcements on Facebook. Alongside that, we found out PL's middle name is Raymond. John Raymond Engel. Everyone say hello to Preciousleaf, aka John R. Engel, and Red's Leaf, or Preciousleaf, aka Carolyn Gallipo. Interestingly, Carolyn thought it was a good idea to post on a public post that they were moving to Montreal in July. After some digging and using the references, Fleshy and PL themselves gave us we found the most likely neighborhood, La Salle, Montreal, Quebec. So to confirm, Fleshy, Carolyn, married and moved PL, John, to Montreal, and then started trying to gaslight everyone into thinking he was in the US. Early years. I'm going to backtrack a little bit to roughly 2011, first and foremost. Carolyn has a YouTube channel where she posted this video.
Hey guys, and today we're going to talk about what I hate about being a twin. Number one thing I hate about being a twin is you always have to share everything. We have to share our food, we have to share our boyfriend, we have to share our bra, and we also have to share our room. That's disgusting. Anyways, here are some clips I want to show you guys. Jenny, I was looking for you. Are you wearing my bra?
Oh, actually it's your bra, I'm sorry.
I told you to not do it, it's totally disgusting!
Oh my god, yours look just like mine.
Hey guys, there's one popsicle left, who wants it?
Me, please! Me? What the heck? I'm getting it! No, you're not! Yes, I'm getting it! Fight me for it! I'm getting it! No, you're not!
you showed that moron. Here's your popsicle.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna fucking beat this game.
Mom, you can do it. Mom,
Show you guys. I
Mom,
can beat this
you can
game
do
in
it.
like 30 minutes. It's so easy.
Come on. So good. Oh my god.
So fucking good
Oh,
at
look
this
at that
game.
jump. It's wow. You're gonna beat it, I'm sure of that.
I'm so freaking
Come on,
good.
let's go. Oh my god. It can be their reward.
Did you see me jump over those
Oh
rocks?
my god, really good. Oh my god, that's totally good.
Look at this.
Oh my god, you're my
Look at me
hero.
rolling around. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, come on, please.
Did you see that?
Oh my god. It's awesome.
Freaking good as fuck.
One. Oh my god, 31 seconds. You're so good. I love you.
31 seconds sucks.
Get out.
Hey,
Get
I'm
out.
trying to beat this game. Get off. Moron.
Since we fight too much, we get an agreement, and we both agree that we like the same guy.
And I don't have a problem with it because I get 4 boobs.
In said video, PL is nowhere near as disjointed and unhinged as we'd come to expect in more recent years. There are also photos of PL and Carolyn's Instagram from around 2013 that show PL. There are comments on this video on YouTube comparing PL to another previous Lolcow, Mario the Plumber. More on that shortly. So a few quick things have been debunked. PL never dropped out of elementary school. Plus, she's been around since at least 2011, and seemingly PL wasn't disowned by his family since they're willing to take him and Carolyn both to Disney, and specifically that failed Star Wars hotel, which there are pictures of, but I'll go ahead and refrain from showing them on the YouTube video for the sake of privacy. Here's where we come back to Mario the Plumber. He had a thread on the forums and Encyclopedia Dramatica for some time with a remarkably similar MO to PL, mostly the ridiculous spending of objects, in Mario the Plumber's case, Rosalina amiibos, an obsession with fictional female characters. As it turns out, someone discovered Mario the Plumber's Facebook account at the time and shared his name, John Engel. Now, Mario the Plumber's power word from ED differs, but he's the only person insane enough to spend a small fortune on amiibo just so people couldn't hentai her. Further, if the comment itself is anything to go by, it seems like a false alias given by Mario the Plumber himself. Comparing their physical features, they look remarkably similar, which, yeah, you can see here. So this seems to line up with what we're seeing from PL, and also explains why he popped up out of nowhere, and has no presence on the internet prior to 2019-ish. He was using a different alias entirely, and from there additional information is given and several links, with the bottom of the post saying, TLDR, PL is actually Mario the Plumber, aka John Raymond Engel, 34, married to French-Canadian Carolyn Galipeau, currently living in Montreal. John has been gaslighting people for years, presumably in an attempt to gain clout, but otherwise his motives are unknown. I need a stiff drink, unquote. Yes, that's right. PL, Preciousleaf, the Lolcow who for the last 5 years or so, who we've been documenting in this video for over 3 hours, who had been non-stop posting rants on Zitter, Discord, 4chan, Reddit, and just about anywhere he could, every single fucking day. The man who made all these videos. The man who fought with so many, who broke his own tooth and physically harmed himself so many times in the name of Leaf, and who had seemed to have dedicated his whole life, his entire waking and possibly sleeping moment to this character, Leaf. All of it, nearly every single last detail, was all a lie. A false persona. A shadow on the wall of something more real that was just out of reach. If only those who were watching had thought to turn around. A Lolcow who countless people had trolled was quite ironically a troll himself. An entity that people were willing to fight for, discuss, argue about, and document for over 250 pages on a forum for 4 years was nearly entirely a complete fabrication. The truth was that he was John Engel, an infamous online troll, Mario the Plumber. But this then begs the question, after looking at all of this, after spending hours watching and talking about this dude, after perhaps getting invested in the lore and wondering what was going to happen, a few questions remains. Number one, why? Why did he pretend to be in love with a 10-year-old girl Pokemon character for 5 fucking years? How did he do that? Was there any truth to any of this? Had he really broken his tooth and harmed himself, all for the sake of the bit? Was there ever anything even close to such an event as this? Was anything, even a little bit of it, real at all? Or was it all just an ongoing fabrication weaved by one of the most dedicated and elaborate trolling events the internet has ever seen? Furthermore, what would be his reaction? His response to finally having been found out? What would everyone else's reactions be? What would this mean for all these channels and this character who he has so happily played upon the stage, that of Preciousleaf? And more than that, who the fuck is Mario the Plumber? And that is it for now, ladies and gentlemen, of part 1 of this grand epic. Rest assured that part 2, where I will end up covering all of the lore of Mario the Plumber and then come back around for us to finish off the story overall, will be coming out within the next week and a half to 2 weeks. I am already hard at work at it, and it's part of why this video took so long to make. Though in general, this video took a long time to make because of all the research it required across several scattered platforms, archives, hundreds of pages of forums, etc, etc. I'd love to know, if you're unfamiliar with the story, what your reaction genuinely is to PL as a character, and having just realized only now at the end that he is in fact fake. What are some of the questions that you have and are hoping to have answered by part 2? On that note, I also want to say thank you so very much for watching through this entire video, and if you happen to enjoy it and want to see more big projects like this or other videos like this from me, be sure to give it a like and subscribe, as it really helps me out in the algorithm to continue to make more stuff like this. And if you want to be extra helpful and want to get behind the scenes footage, exclusive videos, and early access to all upcoming main channel videos, then you may join my Patreon or become a channel member. It also really helps me out. And speaking of, I also want to take this opportunity to thank all of my loyal patrons and channel members for continuing to support me. I know I gained quite a few of you after that Andrew Dobson video, which really blew up, so thank you all so very much for that. I really appreciate it, including all of my night eggs and my night owlettes, as well as a very special thank you to all my great night owls, including Rutger Haver, Anon, Bandan, Somber Devontae 06, and Hexmaniac Hannah, as well as a super duper special thank you to all of my arch owls, including the jolly Jeffrey Robery, the wise Nicodemus, the lovely Leanne Loves Christ, the radical Ray Kit Kat, the Super Saiyan Star Punch Gaming, the fearless Forgotten Ace, and the Supersonic Sword. Thank you all so very much for your continued support, and I cannot wait to get to part 2 of this retrospective. It's been a lot of fun, it's been a lot of work, but I hope you've all enjoyed it. So, until next time, this has been Dylan the Night Owl, flying off.